Welcome back, everybody, to another live stream tonight. Oh my goodness, background. Jeez Louise, Ty. All right, guys. Tonight we'll be talking 3D printing part 2, guys. Let's dive into it. Of course, you know where you at. You are in the fun zone, and you know who you're rocking with. You're rocking with the best, guys. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Shout out to the 15 people in the house. Let me introduce everybody one at a time. Of course, we got the one and only RC 76. I love that bug body. I'm telling you, that's super nice. We got to check that out here shortly.
Right on.
And we have the one and only Pilot Ryan Media. All right. We got the one and only Linden RC 215. He got his camera off right now, but he'll be here shortly. And we have the one and only Watt RC, guys.
What's good, everybody?
All right, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Don't forget to smash the like button on the way in. I see we got 10 people in the house. Let me see. Shout out to J-Man, Watt, Dirty Max, the dad. Let me see who else is in here. Wild Bill, Flyboys 305, Rogue One. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Fly 327. Is Life. OB. Randy. Nitro Bob. Max Paul. What's going on? The RC Hotspot. How's everybody doing out there tonight? All right, guys. So you know what time it is. Last time we talked 3D printers, I did not have one. But guess what, guys? Woo-wee. You know, I've been printing up a storm. I've been printing crazy. Man. Hey, the bug has bitten me, and I can't get enough of it. So all I can tell you guys, what's going on, D-Rock Takes? It is a lot of things going on the market and a lot of changes being made. Now, I was looking at a Flash Forge 3D printer. It was an enclosed 3D printer. That thing was like $150 to $200 on Amazon. Okay, so it's a computer store around here that sells like printers and things like that. And guess what? They have that same Flash Forge on sale for $85 right now because they're saying it's being discontinued. So be very careful about what 3D printer you buy. The price may be very good, but you may not be able to get parts to fix it in the future. But who knows? They saying it's being discontinued because of the price of the tariffs. I said, wow, that sucks. But anyway, moving along, let's check out this 3D printed bug body that Mr. RC has been putting together. We're gonna get him on solo. I mean, you got to tell us about this thing. Tell the people what kind of things you did to it to actually make it work. What did you do to it?
I spent a lot of time in front of the computer on my little dinosaur software called Mesh Mixer by Autodesk. What I wound up doing was just started playing with the bug front end, and I really liked the 55 so much and the bed of that. It's like, you know, how can I marry that together? And so, you know, I started playing with the slicing and came up with the sliver of the 55 Chevy cab that became the transition piece from the bug front end and its cab to the back little piece of the 55 cab into the 55 bed. So it's I'm actually printing bug number 2 right now, and I've got most of the parts sitting here in front of me, but I got the last half of the bed going right now in the printer in the basement, and I'll have the tailgate and all 4 fenders to print, and then I can start the process all over of bug number 2. So it's, I can tell you this much, this piece right here that I'm holding up the front end, you see how rough it is. I put a ton of effort and time into this, and you guys all know what we're talking about. The pieces are just so big that This was, you can see I left the supports in here. Look how much support is in this. It's wild.
How much filament?
That was basically a whole roll of filament right here in this front portion.
What brand are you using? Elegoo?
Actually, this one is Creality Hyper PLA, and I buy them a 4-pack of it on Amazon for like $70. But this is pretty much a roll in that part that I showed you in my hand, and that was almost 29 hours of print time for that.
Oh wow!
So, and and the big thing is the front fenders, and I'm gonna do more of an in-depth video of when I married the two front fenders of. They're the rear fenders of the 55 Chevy, and I sliced them. And what I did was, to get that to work, is there's a body line right here on this fender. I cut that off by hand, and then I married the sliced fenders from the back fenders of the 55 pickup truck to that, and then bondoed the living snot out of it and sanded. And it took me about a week to get those where I wanted them. So there's a lot of time involved in this one, but well worth it.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Hey, it definitely looks. Hey, we can definitely tell a lot of work was put into that vehicle. Definitely was a lot of time, effort, and thought. I mean, the amount of thought that was put into it was out of this world.
I got to tell you guys, you want to see that bug truck in action. Me and Kelly put out a video a week and a half ago. It's popping off. It's got like 4,000 views. You want to see his bug dialed in and done? Check out the last upload on my channel. It's the SCX6. It's the Travelall and the bug truck, Kelly's kit bash. And you get to see Kelly's bug truck running.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that after this for sure.
All right, guys, don't forget, make sure you look at the entire video. Links for the panel hosts, panel guests, everybody's down in the description box. Please get the likes up. We got 18 likes. We got 29 people in the house, guys. We trying to put on an entertaining show, something that you might want to hear, guys, because definitely, like I said, it's going to be a lot of price drops on these 3D printers. Be leery about which one you buy, because you may not be able to get parts for it in the future. Pilot Ryan, let us hear about these 3D prints you've been doing over there. Like, because we know you were working on one just last week. You were showing off on the channel, or what was it, the last Sunday you were live, and the Ford.
The
Chevy.
Ford,
it was a Chevy.
The big green Chevy. It's looking good. It's coming along. It's really close. I really just have to mount it up. Let me show you, since we're talking about it.
Hey, we got to see it, Pilot Ryan. We got to see it, buddy.
Yes, sir.
It's huge.
Yes,
man.
the Flash Forward, nice, the Flash Forwards was new in the box for $85.
Look at that patina.
Welcome, Ikonz. Louie, fix it.
Louie,
let me get you on solo.
It's coming along. It's window time, and I've got this thing's so heavy, man. I got the gas cap and the handle on. A little bit more paint work, but paint and sand, and then it's smooth. So I got to run lights, get my windows in, mount it up, and it's ready to go. I've already started printing my next project, which is a big version of this. So I'm making this on an SCX6 as well.
Wow, so, what's that? That's a Dodge, right? Dodge Ram?
It's an old Jeep from the movie Tremors.
Kevin wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir. That's that movie right there.
This one's a leafer, and this one's going to my dad as soon as I get the video made. But I like it so much, I need one. So I've already got the files, obviously. Kelly printed most of that off for me before I had my printer, and then kit bashed that to make it work. So I'm making a big one. And Kelly, I need, the only thing I need is the bed. But sometimes there's a language disparity between the software where the file will look good on his side, but on my side, it's a bit of a mess. And so it doesn't, if I print the bed off, I won't get the floor of the bed, but in his software, it's there. I don't know why, but yeah, so I'm making one of those and this one's almost done. And I use the SCX6 lights because they're already long enough to get where I have to go. And yeah, that's it. I'm dying to try. The Relarlo tires are 5.7 inches instead of 7 inches like these. And I'm anxious to see what they look like on one of these. And it'll create, we won't have to cut as much out of the arches on some of these scale trucks if we go with a slightly smaller tire. So that brings it in. What was it, Kelly? About a 1/4 inch all the way around on circumference, basically.
Yep.
Something like that. So I did the math one time, but you're not a real modeler unless there's sand on your desk. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Burning through the filament, printing this the new big Jeep truck.
Nice.
Ryan, did you say you want me to print the bed to that?
I think I'm gonna need you to.
No problemo.
I got the front done and I'm doing the grill right now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. Louie, what you over there printing? You over there working on them lights? You got it. What you printing out, some new lights?
My lights. Nah, I ain't printing out no lights. I was trying to finish up the light kit for the Punisher. This joint here. I was trying to finish up the light kit for that. But nah, I wasn't doing no printing this. I don't think I printed this week at all. But when I was on vacation, I printed out a bunch of everything for my lights. And I was just relaxing off that. That's why I was doing some speed run videos. I got a chance to get out and run my RCs. I was out running them. I was like,
yeah, he was running them. So you were running them, bro, for sure.
And I got some more videos coming. This week. So I wasn't printing nothing today. I was like, oh, I had to get a break, man. I was running that printer. Oh man, at least 10 to 12 hours I was running it.
Hey, trust me, I understand. Hey, because I've been a printing maniac. You hear me?
Once you start, it very rarely ceases.
Dude, It takes over your life.
Yeah, man. I've been saying that for a while. Like, yo, it's like, you know, once you finish, like when you finish something and you accomplish it and it's done, it's like, damn, what can I do next? You know, I need another mission. I need to make something else. You know.
Dude, I told Ryan a couple weeks ago and told my girlfriend just the other day, I said, hey, the boat's in the water now. We're going to relax for the summer. I ain't printing anything else unless it's something small I need. And here I am, man, printing another big bug body again.
And what did I tell you?
Yeah, you said BS.
I called BS immediately because I was like, there's no way.
You can't help yourself, man. You got to do it.
Be making something. There's no way.
Louie, is that a four-wheeler behind you?
Yeah. I got the.
That's cool.
I just put it together. This Vortex. I do a four-wheeler. I got the four-wheeler, the shell of it from this guy on eBay. I'm getting ready to do another one. So if you ain't seen the last video, this video I'm gonna do the next one because I'm gonna take the two-wheeler Vortex and I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna put the same.
That's fantastic.
That's cool. Super, super cool.
I have a Vortex, man, that I don't know what to do with.
There you go.
Go back in my videos. I got a video on how I built it, and I give all the details on what I did with it. But this one, I don't think this one is perfect the way I really want it. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great. It looks great with the I call it the Armor Losi Vortex Promoto Quad.
There you go.
That is awesome.
Matthew
Wait.
Singer said, I tried to print some inserts and the printer nozzle got clogged and stopped. Yeah, I had that issue. I don't know why I did that. Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened. My bed wasn't clean, and everything wasn't sticking to the bed, and everything started sticking to the nozzle, and then like it just started dragging everything around, and I had a bird nest for sure.
Wow.
And I did have a clog though. Yeah.
You know, I had a couple clogs on my K1 Max early on when I bought that, and I did some investigating, and because I started tearing it apart, and you know, I wound up changing the nozzle and
907.
Dude, now it's like you take that wire that comes in that kit that comes with your printer that's got the little round end on it. You take that thing and heat it up real hot with the torch and stick that down where the filament goes, and it'll unclog it like instantly. Works perfect.
I ain't gonna lie. I have not. I don't even want to say it out loud, but I haven't had a clog yet.
Yeah.
And I've been printing some stuff like no clogs. I've had some spaghetti happen every now and then, but that was usually my fault. And
yeah.
No clogs though.
Yeah,
I had a lot of spaghetti when I was in here just letting it go by itself. I said, man, spaghetti central.
This bamboo thing I got, it'll detect it and stop and ask you if you want to keep going, right?
Right.
Or cancel or whatnot. And
across the bed and something is in its way, it'll jump out the way. So what makes it is when your needle is running across, and let's say you got a little lump, like it dropped too much filament in one spot across, and it hitting that lump. But what the needle is going to try to melt that lump to even it out, you know. So when I was setting mine up, I saw it doing that, trying to even it out, and it just pushing the filament. That so I made mine so when it hits see the lump, hop over it, and I think it stops until that lump is leveled out with the whole thing, and then it keep going. So that's what that lump like that could move the object, move your print, dragging it around. It's over that lump, and it hit that lump one time, and it just push it. Then all of your item is stuck to your needle, and it's dragging around trying to fall underneath your needle, and that's what probably could cause a clog.
Yeah,
and it's coming out into a ball.
I tell you what, I've been printing with two different kind of filaments. I've been printing with the Elegoo, y'all told me to get. Then I've been printing with some cheap filament I bought off Facebook Marketplace for $10 a reel. Then he upped the price to $12, but it prints pretty darn good. I mean, in my opinion, you know.
What do you like better so far, Ty?
Oh, the Elegoo, I can definitely tell it's a lot better.
Yeah.
No doubt. I mean, I can tell, like.
But what's the price difference between that and that Facebook stuff?
Not that much. About $6, $8.
Oh, that ain't bad. Yeah, that ain't bad.
Maybe $6, $8. I think Elegoo's like what 21 on Amazon.
that sounds about right. I want to figure out a way to recycle the supports. Like, seriously, especially these big joints.
Them big supports. You're right.
Literally, because Kelly, like he said, he burned up a whole roll on that front.
Yeah, man.
Of that bug.
It's bad.
If he was able to recycle that support, it would be like having another 30 minutes worth of print somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Easy.
Can you? I mean, if you take your support, you put it down to like 25%, would it still hold, or would it start buckling places?
I don't fight the algorithm of whatever it's doing. So I will play with, there's some options on the way I choose to do the supports, I'll run it and preview it with the trees. I'll preview it with the regular straight supports.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can preview it with on the bed only, remove small overhangings. There's all these little tick boxes I can check. And so I'll kind of play with the big print and the orientation and also the support material to see if it's going to save me any time or money. And then I go with it that way. But there's more that I could do with it than I've ever asked it to. But I just tend to not mess with the defaults on stuff because, man, if it's working for me, I'm going to let it.
Yeah.
See, that's the big problem.
I'm finally getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I know I'm wasting time and support, but the finished product looks so much better. It's going to be less finish work. I think I'll just have to live with it. Yeah. And so I'm doing some more. I actually tried to save print on filament on this one, and it's such a mess on the top and the window. For whatever reason, it didn't know it needed to support it. And so it's a mess. Look at that spaghettied out, Ty.
Yeah, I see that.
And
what you
can fix that. I mean, I can make that work.
Oh, I was about to say, if you know what you could do, I know what you could do. Fix it though.
I do a lot of fixing, but the bigger reason why I decided not to go with this piece, Kelly knows because we've been working on these files together, is the way I sliced it. I sliced it my own way instead of see that big old line on the door? I should have sliced it right there. But it's so far off. I don't, that's more finishing than I want to do. I do plenty already. So I just reprinted it and sliced it where the seam is because there's actually screw together bosses there. And so let me show you the good one. Hold on.
I see what he did.
So consider what you were just looking at. Now look at this.
Yeah. That's where you put it together at now. Wow, that's
this
way
is
better.
Clean. And I still haven't done any finish or sanding on this. But you can see where it glued together. When I'm done with it, you won't see any of that seam line. And now at the door, you see the glue joint, and I'll make that go away. I always hide that stuff. Kelly knows it's true. And
what you using to glue it?
CA.
Okay.
Airplane glue, basically. But
I see it. I see a ton.
Seams are all nice, and it's going to finish better. And I kind of tack glue it on the outside because that's visually what matters to me. And then I'll glue the crap out of it on the inside. And then I'll use files and I'll block this out like you would on a real car, man, and get all that gone. And then if I need the Bondo, start building up the paint and that kind of thing. But this is the cab of that dude.
Take your
Trimmer's truck 2.0 on the SCX6 is going to be fantastic.
How long it take for your glue to cure?
Man, with the CA, it's right away because it's like tire glue, and then there's a kicker, it's a two-part. So you can get different viscosities of this, thin, medium, and thick, like CA glue. And then you can either wait on it to dry, or if you get the kicker, it dries right away. So
do it need like white residue around where it dries?
I don't do nothing because this will harden the glue right away. It's an accelerator, so it'll speed up the cure, but it evaporates off of everything else. I don't have to wipe nothing.
Oh,
It does create a little bit of a white residue on the glue itself when you use the kicker. But like Ryan said, once you use like a little jeweler file and file that off, you will not see that seam. It's awesome.
Wow.
That's the trick. I do want to talk about, dude, Kelly and I both have had a ton of people ask us to buy these bodies. And we haven't really answered anybody because it's like, by the time you pay me what it's worth, you could have had your own printer is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna have to cost a pretty penny for sure.
If somebody bought my Chevy, they'd have to give me $2,000 for the body before there's a chassis under it. I'm not kidding you. I ain't trying to sell them. And then if somebody just wanted the files because they wanted to make it themselves, I almost want to put them through an application process. Like, hey, I want to see your work first because I don't know if you know what you're asking for. There's a ton of work involved to make them look as good as we're doing. And I don't want you posting up some jank deal saying it came from me, you know? So it's like, buy your own printer. You know what I mean? Or get ready to reverse mortgage the house or something because it's got to be big. It's got to be big ticket if I'm selling you one. And I don't even want to sell you pieces. I'd rather sell one done. You get what you see is what you get.
I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but this is the front end of my bug.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And
now,
you really can't see.
Fender.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is you can't really see the line on the fender where I married it together with the Bondo and everything. So it's pretty legit, but I've also got, 4 or 5 weeks worth of, every evening and a lot of early mornings and a lot of weekends scrubbing on this thing with sandpaper and everything else.
That's why we aren't saying like okay to these guys. Not trying to be mean at all.
It's definitely like, showing the amount of work you put into it.
Oh yeah, they look good.
We're a little crazy about it, and it's flattering to have folks ask you, like literally, man, a few times. As soon as I post, it's usually a couple times a day. Someone's wanting to buy one, and it's like,
fellas, we got 34 in the house, 25 likes. All right, you know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is now. Y'all brought this on yourselves. Well, here it comes. Here it comes.
Excuse me, everybody. Please listen up. I do need your attention. I'm gonna say this once because I ain't gonna say it again. All right. We almost had an altercation up in here. I don't want it to happen again. All right? So remember these 3 words. Respect my house. All right?
That's all I ask. Respect my house. Get the likes up, fellas. That's all
Ryan.
I ask.
Hey, Ryan.
Ooh, we got a white one and a black one. Oh, my goodness.
The white one's hard. I like that with the white walls.
What?
This one is a 1/10 scale.
That's awesome, man.
Yo,
it's rough.
Man, that would never go outside.
So how long does it take to print a body?
This one here being a 1/10 scale, it was pretty simple. It was probably a day and a half of total print.
So what is everybody's longest print time?
Mine's got to be the bug front end at 29, I think right over 29 hours just for that one piece.
Wow.
Maybe 5.5.
I haven't had one over 12 hours, I don't think.
My longest is 8 hours.
Yeah, mine was like 9.5 hours. I tried to put everything I could on the bill plate.
Yeah. I used to do that. And I get annoyed by how long it takes to kind of it checks itself on the bed level and all that kind of stuff. I used to, and sometimes I still will with small parts. But in my mind, I quit doing a bunch of different pieces on the plate because I wanted to just stay after the one job. I feel like the filament is going to have less time to cool off and stick to itself better if I just stay on that piece. Because you know how it is. It'll dance around to wherever it's got to go to keep up with the levels.
Yeah, and then you can, well, what I did, see, I'm still a rookie, but I learned one thing. You can pick, as long as they far enough apart, you can pick do one object at a time. So I started doing that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But you can't, of course, they try to say you can't do the time lapse if you print one object at a time. Now, I've learned a lot since I had my printer, but I still need to learn a lot as well, you know?
I think we're all in that same boat.
Yep. 100%.
There, you know what's neat about, like, even this Jeep that I'm doing, this trimmer's truck redo, when Kelly printed me those pieces, that was way early on. I didn't even have mine yet. He hadn't had his for long. And the things that were racking our brain then on trying to figure out, it's not a thing anymore. Like he designed the 55 Chevy bed with custom made fenders for my new print on this big one. And the first go around, I had to make them by hand. I fabbed them up. So, I mean, it's crazy how much you're going to learn just by messing with it and staying after it. You know, every time you're going to learn something. And even when you have your failures, you learn something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
That's what's good about what we're doing right here, because we're all feeding off each other and learning from each other. And, you know, that's the whole key to this hobby, especially the 3D printing stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the internet makes us all on the accelerated learning program. Just like when we all learned how to fly back in the day, there was no internet. Now you can get on and see everybody crashing and learn from successes, triumphs, and tragedies, you know. You learn a lot faster now with having these communities that come together. And I'm sorry, I know I talk too much, but
no, you're fine.
Hey, Kelly, how strong is the finished body? 1 to 10. I know my answer.
Yeah. Let's talk about the white Ford and the gray Land Rover. Yeah. Ryan like T-boned me a couple weeks ago with his white Ford pickup truck, wide open. Him and I didn't see it because one of our other buddies was in that line of sight, and we heard a loud crash and then nothing. And yeah, he took my Land Rover for a spin, man. He took some parts out of that thing, but you know, it took me like 15 minutes with the CA and the accelerator, and I had the thing back together. It looks good, but his Ford took a beating.
The week before, Kelly was driving my Ford, the white one with the red door, and rear-ended his Carmen Ghia full blast. Did not break the Carmen Ghia at all and cracked my bumper. That was it. So it really all depends how you mount them to the chassis. And then what's neat about these, look at that picture, man. A lot of these are originally designed for little scale models to sit on a shelf. So by the time you blow them up, the walls of these get to be about 3/16 thick. And there's infill that's wafered. So they actually are way stronger than you think they're going to be. I think what would make ours...
It's hard to see it.
If we had opening doors and opening hoods and stuff like that, it would make them a lot weaker. But
for sure,
we're kind of printing them to be beat on a little bit. And if you check out our channels, you can see us throwing these things in a second gear and jumping them and bashing them. I mean, no backflips and all, but we're beating them up and they're taking it.
Awesome. I got another question. How much filament did it take to print that? I guess the white truck, the 110 truck that you showed, Kelly.
That was probably a roll and a half. You know, the thing is with the bug body, there's nothing square on it. So no matter what you do or how you orient it or how you slice it and cut it like what Ryan does with his stuff, you're going to use a ton of filament for support.
Yep.
Which filament did you guys use? PLA?
Yeah.
Hyper PLA on my Max, Creality Max. Yep.
I've used a bunch of different ones, but I like PLA better. It doesn't stink. My big red Travelall thing, it's got ASA, PSA, PLA, ABC, 1, 2, 3, Jackson 5, everybody. But it's because I had it. It's because I had it. So if it's up to me, I'm liking the PLA. I haven't seen it do any warping yet in the sun, but we're gonna find out. I think this summer.
You know what though? We're always in the woods. It's always, you know, it's cooler in the woods. It's shaded. I don't see us having an issue with the PLA. Really,
at 230 degrees to melt it to make it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's probably gonna be hard to melt that.
Unless I go on SpaceX and get land on the sun, I think I'll be okay.
Hey, so I could answer Flyboy's question there. I've got a K1 Max, had it since I think December, and it has not cooled off once since then. And I have not had any problems with it other than it for whatever reason I haven't figured out how to really print TPU on it successfully yet, because it wants to clog up for some reason. But other than that, I absolutely love the K1 Max. It's a great unit.
Well, this is what I bought. This is the reason why I bought my 3D printer, to start working on this thing right here.
That's sweet.
That's gonna be so cool, bro.
That's number one of
awesome.
what, 10?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's already talking about printing another one.
A Rustler rear end?
Absolutely. Traxxas, baby.
Bro, Valenian, that's going to be ridiculous.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I redid the sides and started in black, and then I finished it in gray, so it can stand out a little bit more on the side, along with the swing arm and all that stuff, so it can stand out. Because all that was black. I did it, and you couldn't really see it. It's like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't really see it. I know I could have bought some paint, but at the same time, I got plenty of PLA to burn. $10 a roll, fellas. So hey,
awesome.
I lit it on fire a little bit.
Dude, you're doing great, man. That's awesome. Good job.
That's really good.
Looks great.
Now, I don't know anything about infield. I don't know anything about anything. All I did was I bought the plans. I brought them over here to Bamboo Studios. I added supports. I oriented it the way I wanted, where I felt like it would be best. I kept checking the supports and all that. And oh boy, and it came out like that. I just need to get another screw kit and some shocks and some TPU. What'd you say?
How much time you got invested into it?
Oh my goodness. I put that thing on before I go to sleep. Every day before I go to work, I put it on. Like them long prints, man. That's why I said them 9-hour prints. Like I put it up, put everything on the bill plate and just let it go. Boom. And walk away.
Dude, wait till, I never had kids, but I know there's things called baby monitors out there, and I bought a set of those just so I could put it next to my 3D printer in the basement. When I'm upstairs sleeping, I'm like, I don't hear it anymore. I need to go replace I need to change out and put another piece on.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You feel like you're wasting time. If it's not running, you feel like you're wasting time.
Yeah.
One thing I learned from the last show, Ikonz and Jay Sinister was saying, make sure you have some extra hot ends or some extra nozzles on hand, because woo-wee, when you go down, you want to make sure you can keep printing. Woo-wee, I had a clog and I started messing with it and trying to get it unclogged, and of course I broke it. I broke it. I had to order another one. I was down for maybe a day or two. Well, actually probably like one day, because I got it from Amazon. So don't worry, I got 2 extra ones now. No more of that.
I can't. I don't even want to think about that day. I think that mine came with an extra nozzle. I'm still on my original everything.
Flyboys 327 said, "Are printers fire hazards?"
Yes,
they can be, definitely.
See, I don't leave mine on overnight because I heard that you're not supposed to let them run over a certain many hours. They can heat up. They can be a fire hazard.
Whoops.
Well, I mean, unless you got a fan keeping it cool, you know.
Yeah.
If you got a cooling fan or it's inside the enclosure, you're gonna have a fan blowing on it, and it's gonna be like a moderated temperature.
A fire alarm and a baby monitor. You're good to go 24/7, 7 days a week.
That's it.
Let it rip, Tater Chip.
That's right.
Mine's I put mine on. If I'm home, like on a weekend, I'll come down 6 in the morning, put mine on and let it run. And I time it because when I'm doing the slicing, every time I do a slicing, I put I name it and I put how much time it is when I'm naming it. So when I put a print on, I'll be like, all right, that one's supposed to take 2.5 hours. I set a timer for 2.5 hours. And when my timer go off, I come down, drop another one inside there, and just keep them going. But that's when I'm off. I wouldn't put my 3D printer on and go to work. I wait till I get home from work, and then I put it on and set.
Oh no, I cut mine on and leave, go to work. I pull the phone out and look at the camera and see where it's at. Let it rip, Tater Chip.
Yeah, seriously. Isn't that rad?
I'm telling you.
Being able to check it out, like I'm on my way to get dog food, and I'm like, oh, I'm out of filament. Like I know it tells me.
Listen, I was outside cutting grass today, and I had when I got home from work, I was cutting grass, and I looked at the phone. I was like, okay, I got a few more minutes before I need to go inside and pause it and change the color so I can have to make sure I have the had this gray standing out on the outside of this engine.
Nice.
Yeah.
It takes over your life.
I got that AMS. You know, I could do different colors.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even messed with that yet. Because I mean, I'm always painting it, but one day I'll do that because I can do lettering different or all kinds of stuff. I got to play with it. I haven't even done it yet. I mean, you can pause them. Some people check out the videos. They're out there where people are like, how to put magnets in your 3D print, and they'll pause it at a certain point.
Yeah, I've seen that. That stuff is cool.
And then let it finish. Yeah, super cool. You got to plan it out.
You got to plan out the infield and all that, like, you know, make the gap for the magnet. You got to measure it out. All that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work entailed in that.
Program where you can program the pause. If you know at this line.
Oh yeah. If once you slice it, you can see exactly where you can go in there. Now, I see it, but I don't know how to do it. I see it. I was looking right at it, but I don't know how to change it as far as like add things in there. Because I was like, oh, it would be cool if I could put like my name in the side of this engine. I was like, maybe one day, not right now.
On the Creality software, I don't know about the Bamboo stuff, but on Creality software, if you just put whatever you want on the plate and then you got the bar to scroll down and see your layers go from the top down to the bed, wherever you want to stop at with that scroll bar, I right click on it and it creates a pause.
Nice.
That's how mine works.
Can't you print out like maybe like a millimeter of your name and then put it on there itself? Like print it out separate and then glue it on.
Yeah, you can.
Millimeter or 0.5 millimeter.
I've made stencils that way. Just printed it thin like a business card and then used it as a stencil. That's how I got the stencil on the side of that truck.
Yeah.
But what I did, Ty, Tinkercad, Ty, it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Drag in the piece you want to put words on into Tinkercad. It's a little easier to do words and pick different fonts and either make it a negative space or raise it or whatever. Get it done there. and then export it, and it'll go right to your bamboo. It'll go right to a plate on your bamboo, and then you just say go.
Awesome. Hey, I love it. See, I love this. I love this. See, I'm learning right now. I'm telling you now. I'm absorbing the information.
I had an easier time with letters and words in Tinkercad, messing with it to make it originally than in. I could manipulate it a little bit in Bamboo, but I had an easier time. I created a few stencils because I wanted to try it out, see how it would go, and I used Tinkercad for it.
Flyboy, I have ran ABS, ASA, PLA, and I tried to run the TPU on my K1 Max, and for whatever reason, like I said, the nozzle will clog up on it. It doesn't like TPU, or it doesn't like how I'm setting it up, one of the two. So, but those are the filaments. I primarily use the Hyper PLA on it for all my stuff.
Oh, matter of fact, hold on. Fly 327. It can be scaled up any size you want, like as big as you want.
Check that out, Louie.
Because you know, Pilot Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, that SCX6 body, the first one, original one, was not an SCX6. I think it was a 10th scale, wasn't it, Pilot Ryan? And you scaled it up?
Yeah. Every one of these we've made was never originally intended for 6. So you just got to plot your coordinates and figure out what you need your wheelbase to be. We did a stream the other day where Kelly did a fantastic job showing how we come up with the wheelbase and stretch to that number.
Nice.
Basically, the center of the arches is going to be your wheelbase, right? So once you know what the wheelbase is, you stretch out to that. Like this new Jeep I'm doing on the SCX6, we know that the SCX6 has a 501 millimeter wheelbase. And so Kelly did it first. I plot points, but he just slices it, which I like better. And he'll slice it on the center of the arch. And then that whole piece has a measurement. So the front center of the arch, the rear center of the arch, the front and the back are gone. Scale it until we get 501. And now everything you print on that project has to be scaled up to, in my case, 155.42. So some trucks have been 115.41. Some trucks have been 134. Some trucks have been,
It just depends on what scale they were designed in.
You got to remember it.
Yeah. But yeah, you punch in like the 495.3 or the 501, whichever you want, or the, you know, if you got a 313 millimeter wheelbase, whatever that wheelbase is, you can go in and chop it, like you said, and then take that file, save it, bring it into your printer bed, and then use that value and scale it to that value, and then it gives you the percentage of scale. And then from there, no matter what you do with a file, if you slice it in 10 pieces, every piece that you print needs to be at that scale that you get. So, pretty simple, really.
But yeah, you just have to commit, because you once you come up with the value, it all has to be that.
The first one I did was a Land Rover Series 3, and I liked it so much it was a 110 scale. That's how Ryan got into the 3D printing. I printed him off a kit of this thing and had bags and bags and bags of parts. And I liked it so much after I got my first SCX6 chassis. That was my first print for the SCX6 was my burnt orange Land Rover Series 3. Yeah, like that, only on SCX6.
Wow.
And
Abe said,
Abe
said, is there a way to use a camera to scan an object and have your 3D printer print that image? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
you gotta have a scanner.
They got 3D scanners that you can buy. You can buy them for what, $400 or $500 now.
They're
And
starting to be more available and cheaper
Yeah.
and cheaper all the time. You know, the more this technology advances and becomes more readily available, we're seeing a lot more offerings like that. I mean, there's, you know, these AI, you see this AI stuff all the time, like lately on like social media, like everybody's making themselves look like a vintage toy.
Mhm.
I mean, that same kind of thing can be turned into STL file to be 3D printed. I saw an ad for it on Facebook today where it's like make a 3D, you know, image of yourself, and it's like an app that's going to take your picture and make it happen and apply code to it to make it a 3D part. Even Adobe software I saw for animators the other day, where usually those guys that animate design and it's two-dimensional. So they would have a guy. The example was this dude fighting a cartoon dragon. And normally if you were going to turn the guy to face the camera or the whatever, the shot, you'd have to redraw that every part of the move.
Oh, wow.
The software is smart enough now that if you have a two-dimensional drawing of Charlie Brown looking at Lucy to kick the football, and you click your mouse and drag it around the circle or whatever the move, it generates what that would be on the 360. So the technology is there and it's getting more accessible all the time. Like I want to make me a driver in one of these. And I think I'll have it in a month or so. You just have to spend 15 minutes with new software sometimes, you know, a new
That's
app.
going to be so cool.
Yeah.
That will be cool.
I keep putting Scale Builders Guild in my trucks because that's the guy I have, but I want me in there.
Absolutely.
Change my center of gravity, though, because there's a little more of me than there is of
Dude,
Matt.
I was just getting ready to say, man, we just need to do our heads and attach our heads to his hot body.
Exactly.
Hey, check this out, fellas. This is what I was telling y'all about. Remember I was telling you about they had it in the store for $85? Well, they on Facebook. I just looked on Facebook. They on Facebook for $90. Same thing.
What?
That's crazy.
Brand new. They saying that what to say, final inventory clearance due to new tariffs. Select items are being permanently discontinued. Limited stock available. No restock once sold out.
Wow.
What to say? Fast 24-hour shipping, secure PayPal checkout. So if anybody, whoever that was saying something about send me some money, you can buy it. But hey, I don't know about that. The price is very interesting.
Was this max speed 600 millimeters a second? Is that what I saw? That's fast. That's fast.
Let me go back over. I don't know.
The dad said something about Anycubic. Man, this tariff thing is messing up my flow. Anycubic reached out to me the other day, said, "Hey, we want to work with you on your channel. Well, you know how it goes. They'll provide the product, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, all right, cool. And I told them which one I wanted. And then they came back with some email talking about tariff this, tariff that. That's tariffable. I'm like, they couldn't send me one. I was like, you came to me. You reached out to me. What do you mean? Why are you teasing me like that?
Absolutely.
Because I was going for the Gambini. They got one with like a 420 millimeter print bed or something. It's like a K3 Max. I was like, send it, man. I'll talk about it. They still want to work with me. They want me to talk about it. And I told them, I wrote them, I was respectful. I wrote them an email back. I said, I can't really promote this unless I know what it's about. I got to have one to use for my people. I can't just shill this thing without having used it. So if you're able to in the future, I'm still willing to work with you, but I can't promote it without having one.
Exactly. Flyboys 305 said Does anyone have a 3D scanner, and are they good? I don't have one. You know, I just got my 3D printer. I definitely don't have one.
Harley Designs has one he uses sometimes. I know. Probably some other guys might.
I'd see one in my near future. That and a Cricut.
Man, that's on my list. I've been dragging my feet. But
Cricut machine is definitely next on the list.
That's why I made these stencils instead, because I was like, I'm never going to pop on a Cricut. Let me just go ahead and make these. And they're about 1.5 millimeter thick.
Hold on, let me see. Let me get you on solo so we can check them out. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Very
just
nice.
you select the letters as negative spaces. And the biggest trick was making it where the middle of the letters didn't fall out. Right? Because if it's a stencil, you see those little eyes on there? Those little slashes. I'm so janky, man. I mean, I'm using technology, but it's like a half-ass garage sale all the time. I literally put the letter I across the letters on top to hold the middles in after I had created the image, so to say.
Did you make those in Tinkercad?
Yep. And then I put the eyes on them, the slashes to hold the middle of the letters on. I did that in after the fact in Bamboo. Those little slashes that holds the middle of the letters together, because I didn't like it all the way open. You know what I mean? Because it looked goofy. What I was trying to create looked goofy, having the no middle to the letters, right? You can kind of see the difference. There's a middle or there's not.
But that's what's cool about this hobby and what we're doing, because it shows you creativity, right? So, I mean, you know, you did it that way. I might do it a different way. Ty would do it a different way. We'd all do it differently, but we all have the end result that's the same.
Hey, but the bottom line is we need to try Tinkercad.
Yeah, it's kindergarten CAD. Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
Dude, I jumped in that program after he did those stencils, and he was telling me about it in text. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get involved. I'm gonna learn Tinkercad. I was in there literally for like 3 minutes, was lost, and I'm like, I feel like I don't belong here. I don't know what I'm doing. It's so simple. I don't want any part of it. And I was gone.
It's you know, the best part about Tinkercad is the price. It's free $99. But there's the stencil right there.
Hey, I love that price, free $99. Check that out.
I didn't want it to be
Oh, nice. I see it.
Did you airbrush that?
You better believe it.
Nice.
This is my first airbrush job ever.
The whole truck or just the stencils?
All of it.
Did you put a matte clear coat on that?
Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking about getting that little battery powered airbrush gun and putting in some work on this 3-wheeler.
You got my head spinning on that 3-wheeler, Ty. I'm
killer. I like that quad Louie had, bro.
Yeah, I like that
too.
Dude, it's gonna be. Oh, can we go out on the boat? No, I'm 3D printing and getting ready to paint my 3-wheeler. Sorry.
Paddle tires. Hey,
and they got version 1 and version 2 from what I've seen with this 3-wheeler. I guess this is the version 1 that used the rustler written in. The version 2 used like a written out of a crawler, it looks like to me, because it's a straight axle with a drive shaft. So, of course, I will be doing both of them. I'm just going to enjoy this one for right now, and I'll be building the second one after I finish this one. Let me do one at a time.
Dude, you know what? Ryan, I want to do one and tear up my Creighton 8S and make a 3-wheeler out of that.
Ooh, wee.
Oh my goodness.
The big, bold, and the ugly, man. I'm ready.
Beast out there.
Yeah, bigger the better.
Whatever that Louie guy fits on, he's perfect on there. It looks like.
Yeah, man, that's perfect job going. Whatever you gonna make of us, that's gonna be a
Oh no, well, he's actually not perfect on there, but he's close. He's close. Now, honestly, I saw where you can buy the programs, the files to 3D print the rider. So I was thinking, I may have to talk to you guys that know what y'all doing, that maybe can scale them up a little bit and chop them in half and send the file back to me. You know, somebody that know what they're doing, you know, and
Send
make
it
him fit
over.
because his arms are a little too short and his legs are a little too short.
Oh, no, that's too big. All right, I see what you got. I see what.
Yeah. But this is the thing about it. He may need to stay in two pieces because the handlebars turn and his body, if he's not together, it'll be all over the place.
You can't make
So,
it.
I was thinking about putting some rubber bands inside of him, right? So when he turned the handlebars, his waist kind of shift across the like he kind of like he's throwing his weight across the 3-wheeler. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Let me see if I can hold it and I can show you what I mean.
Ty, I think that file, we need to try that in Mesh Mixer, because when you separate the files, you can actually separate everything. And I think you could separate everything out and then print it all individually and do what you're wanting to do.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's a challenge. I love it. Let's do it.
What's going on, Dan? Welcome to the live. How you doing?
That's when
Shout out to everybody who just joined.
That's when you make the if you can put like a ball and socket in the slice where his butt
can.
And then use like mold in some kind of hook or some kind of something. Use a hair tie, like the girls have for their ponies, something like that. It'd be a little stronger than rubber band, but same job. Or an O-ring, even if you get one big enough.
Yeah, like the old school G.I. Joe.
Yep.
Can you
remember?
Can you make it where the bottom, like how they got the Louie bike, where the bottom turn and the handlebar is still, where it don't move?
No, those handlebars turn.
Yeah. But they don't on the bike, the Louie bike.
Mm-hmm.
The end turn, but the handlebars stay.
And I found some files where you can take the Louie Pro Moto front forks and put it on this 3-wheeler.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a lot of different files I found. Like I found so many files a couple of days ago. I found the Louie Pro Moto files where I think each panel is like $3 a piece. Like you can buy the file and print out literally print out every color you want. Like every color you got filament, you can print it out. I said, buddy, that might be the way to go for me, because $12 a roll, man, sometimes as low as $8 to $10. Man, listen, that's cheaper than buying a different set of plastics every time you want to ride.
Hold on, $1 a piece for each panel on a Louie Pro Moto?
Each panel, each piece of the Louie Pro Moto, you can buy it for $3 a piece. Buy the file and print it out.
That's a lot of panels on there.
Yeah, but they're only like $3 a piece.
Because otherwise, you got to buy the whole kit,
which is like 30.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's 40.
30 to 40. Yeah, 30 to 40. Well, no, 30 to 49.
If you only broke one piece, that's not bad.
Right.
And you can't buy it just one piece.
No. At Horizon, they're not going to skew out that many pieces, so it's like you got to buy
the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean that's everything we know too. Like sometimes you need one little widget, and you got to buy. You got to buy a whole fuselage to get it or something.
Yeah. Like
all right, RC Hotspot, we catch you next time.
If Louie just made that back panel that flips up, if they just sold that back panel, they will make a killing off it. Everybody like that. Everybody broke that little flip up back panel above the back tire. Everybody broke that.
Well, you can 3D print that, and they got a little color piece to go over the top of it, to prevent it from messing up. Oh, they got so many things for their Pro Moto up there. I said, man, where was this stuff when I first got my Pro Moto?
You know they got a Willy bar for the promoter now, right?
Oh, they been had one.
Yeah, I was
The
like,
one that was on the one that I did not see that. It was on eBay. The dude, he's in another country.
yeah, you probably was the one that sent it to me. I saw it. I was like, a Willy bar for the promoter.
Yeah, I found the exhaust pipe, the engine, like an engine to mount on the side, like exhaust pipe, like literally all kind of files you can put on there. You can put the 2-stroke pipe or the 4-stroke pipe.
You could print them fenders out in TPU and never break another one in your life.
You're right about that.
Just use a real soft TPU, and
I was just looking at that, but I ain't got no reason to use it right now. So I was like, man.
Yeah, because you can print out the tires, the rims and tires, the dirt bike tires, as well as the supermoto tires and rims. I saw all the files for everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I have my 3D printer for almost a year, and I haven't printed out anything other than what I created besides the samples and some little keychains that I made for my wife. She sold keychain stuff. I made some keychain pieces for her. Besides that, I haven't printed out nothing other than what I created. I haven't bought any files. I haven't downloaded any files, nothing like that. I haven't even experienced that yet.
Well, yeah, that's why I bought mine, to print out this thing right here. This was the goal. Print out this 3-wheeler and start printing out cars. Because I said, guess what? I do not want to keep buying cars, car after car. I mean, if I can print out cars, you think about it. I print out a car, drive it for a few months, possibly sell it, give it away, whatever. Move on, print out another one, keep it moving. You know?
Yeah. I know that contract when you download a file saying no commercial use.
Well, you got to realize, they saying selling the parts. Now, something I built, I can sell something I built now. You can do that. You just can't sell something that, like, you can't sell what, like, okay, these parts right here. Say you want to buy these. I can't sell these right here or sell his files. But my fully built 4-wheeler, 3-wheeler right here, I can definitely sell that.
You better read that.
Yeah. That's part of that slippery slope as well, where Kelly and I have talked about it too, where it's like guys are asking for these things, and it's somebody, I mean, we printed them and we made them, scaled them to size, but they're somebody else's work.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. But the whole thing, my finish work on it, that's different. But is it? I mean, it is, though, because there's a whole lot of labor in the finish that's nothing to do with, in a way, the file. But yeah, you're right. It gets tricky with the parts.
Absolutely.
Well, you start doing like what I did with the bug truck and start marrying multiple files together and going, once
you do all that, now you've taken it to another level. Then
make it yours. Yeah, it's like game on.
So, what type of filament is everybody's favorite go-to filament?
PLA.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, what brand? Excuse me, brand. That was all bad. What brand?
I haven't had a bad brand yet. In fact, I mentioned it a couple weeks ago that a friend of Ryan and I, Kirk, bought some filament for me to print some things out for him, and it was an Ender brand, and it was a high-speed filament PLA. And I gotta tell you, the actual supports would just fall away from the parts, and where this Creality and the Elegoo parts, like all of these supports that are on this, I gotta fight to get these things off of these and take a risk of, of breaking, you know, your A pillars and things. With that ender material, dude, it just, the lightest little touch and it would break right off. So if you're doing anything dainty, or like I was busy making bicycles, BMX bicycles at one point, mountain bikes, you know, that would be a perfect filament for something like that because of the spokes. I had a hell of a time trying to get all the filament away from the spokes and was breaking spokes. So the ender material for small intricate parts that are fragile would be a great choice.
Nice.
But what do y'all use for the glass on your cars? When you're doing the cars, the clear.
Now, let's let Pilot Ryan answer that one.
For my lenses for lights, I use clear PETG. For windows, I use trash from Barbie doll at Christmas.
Huh? What? Oh,
bro.
What you saying? No, I already know. Yeah.
You right, the Fred. I'm not spending the $5.
I buy styrene and stuff, and I use it too, but I don't let this stuff go in the trash.
What?
I know that's right.
You said trash Barbie doll.
I ain't even look.
Look.
Made you think of that,
bro? Barbie. Yeah. This episode sponsored by Barbie. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. As always, click the link in the distro. Yeah, my favorite PLA brand is the Bamboo, but I use the Elegoo stuff all the time.
What makes it the best for you with the Bamboo? What do you like about it?
What I really like about it is that the printer and the software knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't give me extra warnings that say this is a generic PLA or confirm that you're okay with these settings and blah, blah, blah. So there's that. But I think it finishes a little better. I think it takes paint a little better. Both are fine. They're not that much different in price. I keep going for the Elegoo because you keep sending me some, Kelly. And thank you. And also because I can get it on Amazon super fast. When I order Bamboo, I gotta wait for it. But the Bamboo comes on the plastic reels, which my AMS is designed for, and the Elegoo is on a cardboard reel. So it feeds better and stays cleaner in the AMS and everything if I go with the Bamboo and the plastic spool. And you can take the Bamboo spool apart, and I've tried this. If you get this stuff wound up, you're going to be babysitting it till you find the tangle. It's a son of a gun, man. So one time, it only took one time to learn to never do it again. One time I undid the cardboard spool to put the plastic one in it. And I was like, oh, awesome. Man, it wasn't 10 minutes in, I'm tangled up. And then the rest of that roll, I think I ended up undoing it and winding it back up. I ain't got time for that. So I was like, let it just go on the cardboard spools, which it works, but the cardboard will shed and it'll get dirty and stuff in the AMS if I keep it up. So I like to do a little bit better just for that.
Sounds like you need to put Barbie on spool patrol.
Yeah. I need a baby monitor.
Yep. That too.
I can tell you this. In between that cheap brand that I've been getting and the Elegoo, when I try to mix them together, I can definitely tell the difference, in the way it lays down. And it seemed like the Elegoo lays down thicker, maybe. I don't know. It just seemed like it lays down a lot thicker to me. I could be wrong. but both of them are strong or whatever. But it just seemed like it lays down thicker because I let this stripe go. I let both of these stripes go for 5 minutes each. No, 7 minutes each, and that white stripe is much wider than the blue stripe. I don't know why, but it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Neat.
Interesting.
Both of them went for 7 minutes.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So I mean, explain that. That's what I'm saying. Like I literally timed it 7 minutes exactly.
Yeah,
It's
that's
weird.
nuts.
How it was printed?
Huh?
Did you watch it and see how it printed out?
Oh, I was watching it because it went for a whole hour to get right here to the white line. Right. Once it got to the white line, I stopped it at the hour mark. I went for 7 minutes, stopped it, went for 7 more minutes, stopped it, and then let the green go. So basically, I sat here for 15 minutes and watched it. I watched paint dry for 15 minutes.
Dude, I would, if I were you, I'd use whatever that material is that's white because you're getting more bang for your buck time-wise.
It's Elegoo.
Yeah.
Tyler Ryan's favorite. It's Elegoo. Hey, and I ordered this when after the last live when they were saying get this. Well, I didn't order it right there because I had to get my printer first, but I had it in my cart, and then I ordered it because I ordered the black and the white Elegoo, and I'm like, the Elegoo seems to be going a lot further, in my opinion, for maybe $6-7 more.
I wonder if the color has something to do with it too. Like I've heard guys say they rather finish gray than some of the other colors. Like I know Knight's Custom, he likes the gray bamboo PLA, and that's what he's designing all those files that he sells with bamboo G codes and everything, orientation, the whole deal. And in my experience, the gray finishes up nice. Sometimes I wonder if the more color density there is to the filament, if the less grab it has to hold on to paints and finishes. And if that's why folks like the gray more, because it's closer to white without being white. But man, the prints you fed me early on, Kelly, I thought they looked fantastic. And it really does depend on the way they lay down. Like all the flat surfaces for the Land Rover, nice and tight lines, looked really good.
Stand them all up. Yep.
And then the Jeep was a little different with more contour, but I still felt like it was a super solid print. And that was the white, whatever you were using, probably the Ender.
No, it's all been Elegoo.
Has it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that first trimmer's truck is then, mostly Elegoo and a little bit of my bamboo.
Yep. Absolutely.
And the only thing that really mattered, like for me, was the travel all, the ASA and the PSA and the PLA were different temperatures, right? That they want to print at. So they weren't going to stick together in the print, but after the fact, gluing them together, no problem.
Yeah.
That thing's 4 different filaments.
Matthew, what'd you say? You trying to print now? I'm just gonna call these first rolls of filament scrap paper. What you got going on? 5 hours and 43 minutes on this print. Ooh-wee, what are you printing?
A hood for an SCX6. It's gonna take that long. Easy.
Mm-hmm. Is Life said, what plans do you have for 3D printing? For the 3D printing,
world domination, I think, and then once I'm in power, I'll alleviate the stress of the tariffs on the rest of the community.
Absolutely,
yes, sir.
I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, and then I'll bring back Hot Pockets.
Oh, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Make Hot Pockets great again.
Yeah, I used to love them.
Stuff. Hot Pockets are just grown up pizza rolls, bro.
Yep.
Basically.
Exactly.
Hey, I could still eat a plate of pizza rolls though.
I ain't gonna lie, Family Express has some killer pizza puff.
Oh, okay. Matthew Singer said he printed some dragons his son saw on Thingiverse. Gotcha.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of detail on that kind of stuff. It would take some time. Dragon or something. I have not printed nothing that's not RC yet. I'm not on purpose. It's just how it's worked out. My Benchy, the Benchy I printed, I got it right here. I didn't go for the boat. I'm like, I'm a utilitarian kind of guy. They had a screw guide. So you can know the length and the diameter of your screws.
Wow.
Right? M5, M4, M3, M2.5, and then how long. And for building a bunch of crawler kits, this has been really handy. And then I Sharpied it. I couldn't hardly read it. So I Sharpied it and then sanded it so the numbers would show up.
Oh, wow. I might need to look into printing that myself.
Dude, it's one of the benchies on the bamboo.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was super impressed with the print. You know, of course, when it's brand new, the print bed's super clean and there's no glue on it. The texture on the back was just immaculate. And then being a flat piece like this, the print was super high fidelity. It reminded me a lot of your Land Rover files, Kelly. But Yep, that's my first Benchy. I didn't do that boat. I was like, what's that about? And then you realize that everybody had the boat. I think we need to make an RC Benchy, like blow it, scale it up.
Oh,
make it work for real.
That would be cool.
It would be like, it's like pop culture, right? Andy Warhol did the Campbell soup cans. You know, we could RC-ify that boat Benchy, and it's going to hit people on multiple levels. They've all seen it.
Where are you going to put the pizza sauce can?
In the back. Over the motor.
You guys are giving me all kinds of good ideas.
Could you imagine a hot rod Benchy? That's when you chop the roof and bring it down, dude. Rat rod that Benchy, bro.
I'm still stuck on Louie's four-wheeler myself.
Oh man,
that thing is sweet.
That
looks... So pile around. What was that? A screw gauge?
Yep.
Let me see that again. Is that a card or is that what is that? Oh, it's a little thicker than the card. Oh, okay.
It was all green. The black I put on there, but it's just a screw gauge. Yeah.
You know, I'm over here looking for it.
It should be in that bamboo business. I mean, it was like right on the printer interface. I was like, this will be useful.
Oh, bam, there it is. Let's check this out.
It printed 2. I think it'll throw 2 on your plate. It legit is pretty handy because it gives you the M2, 2.5, 3, 4. You're never going to need 5 and 6. And then it gives you and then if you put the screw in the top, it lets you know if it's a 4, 5, or 6, 10, 12, you know, how long it is.
Oh, M2, M2.5, M3, M4, M5, M6. Nice.
If you're building kits at all,
yes, that'd be nice to have.
I did all the base camp builds, man. I had this. At least the second one.
That or even putting airplanes together. You know, a lot of times it's like, all right, which ones go where? But here recently, they've been super easy to put together. But, you know, a few years ago, they had quite a few screws with them.
Well, man, and you know how it is. If you don't pay attention, all of a sudden you were using a 12 where all you needed was a 10. But now you get to the step in the manual where you actually need that 12.
Yep.
And you already spin it where you need the where you only needed a 10.
Exactly.
Believe it happens.
Flyboys, I have not done any multicolor printing on my K-Max.
I haven't either. Only when I run out of filament have I changed the color. I have not used my AMS at all.
Everything I do, I wind up putting Bondo paste, or putting a couple layers of paint on and sanding everything. And the only reason why I use so much black filament is just because I'm printing car bodies out, and that way I don't have to do any kind of like truck bed coating or spray anything on the bottom side to make it look legit. So
my stuff underneath looks like coat of many colors, dude. My red Travelall underneath, it's yellow and green and gray and red and black and white and silver underneath,
with red diff covers.
Stock out of the box. Actually, my SCX6s are so old that red's going pink.
Nice.
A brush coat on the inside.
Yeah. You know what I've done even on some of my Lexan bodies is I'll spray. I know guys will use the drywall mesh tape and then shoe goo and stuff. I ain't got time for that. I'll spray the Flex Seal on it. On the inside, you can spray it over the mesh tape, or you can just spray it, and it's better than nothing. And you can get that Flex Seal in black, white, or clear aerosol. My race car bodies, that's what's underneath them. It'd be good for basher body too.
You know what I'm gonna try? I'm gonna try that Plasti Dip.
Plasti Dip. Yeah.
I might actually paint this other bug truck with Plasti Dip.
But is it gonna hold up when you take it out on the trail? Is it gonna start peeling off or rubbing off?
You know, I use the white Plasti Dip on my tires for the white walls, and it's holding up really, really well.
Oh wow!
So
crazy good.
I'm tempted just to flat black Plasti Dip this thing. And then I wouldn't have to finish it. I wouldn't have to do any filling because that stuff's thick enough. It'll fill it all in anyways.
Huh?
That's what I'm using. I'm doing Plasti Dip trucks from here on out.
I want to see it.
Oh.
Looks like Ty's gonna start that gauge.
You already know. I'm on top of it.
It'll be done in 20 minutes.
Hey, I'm trying to find I'm trying to get the one with the least infield. 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Best I can do.
Nice. How big is that print bed, Ty?
180 by 180 by 180. Super small.
That's the A1.
Yeah, the A1 Mini.
Yeah.
I should have bought the A1. I should have done some more research, but when I saw those prices going up, I said now I looked online, they were $370. Now I had just looked at them a couple of days before, they were $269, right? And that morning, I woke up, everything was going up. I was like, $269. I might need to get it now. I saw it at one place for $269. Everywhere else across the board, it had went up to $379. I said, I refuse to pay that extra $100. Let me go ahead and get it for $279, $312 to my door. I'll be happy with it. But if I would have known what I know now, I would have bought the A1 instead of the A1 Mini, which was only $100 difference. So it's like, I could have got the A1 for what, $379 or $399? I think it was $399.
I was looking at I think it's the P1S or something. Is that one?
I'm not sure. I think so.
I was looking at that one for the longest time, and then I just went and got fortunate with this one.
I like having that K1 Max and my little ender, my Crowdy ender, because I do all my small, like if I start a big project like this bug, for instance, dude, I'll do the tailgate, I'll do the headlight lenses, the headlight buckets, all the smaller stuff, all on that little ender, and they're both down there just going crazy, and I love it because I feel productive, you know. But it's nice to be able to have the small one for the small stuff, the small bits.
Man,
yeah, I mean, I'm still happy with my purchase. It's just, you know,
yeah,
it's just looking back at it like, man, I could have spent an extra $100 and got a bigger bed and probably a better printer, but it's all right. I'm happy with my purchase though. I'm still happy.
Yeah,
you should be. People sing praises over that A1 Mini. You know, whatever it takes to get in the game. And look at you now. I mean, you got a 3-wheeler looking good, about ready to go.
Yeah, you know, it's almost ready to go.
I mean, think about what we're doing. I mean, 10 years ago, none of us would be talking about this. Really?
Imagine what next 10 years is going to be like.
Right.
You know?
And, you know, that was the thing, Kelly. You talk about having 2 of them running. That's another reason why I just can't. I haven't been able to answer anybody who wants to buy one because I don't want to tie up my printer. It takes hours to do stuff. And I'm doing my own thing. You know, what if you're jamming on a project and you got to order and it takes, I mean, if we had to do a SCX6 body for somebody, you know, it's a week worth of babysitting a printer to get it done. And that's after you've already sized it and done the work. And then that means you got a week where the printer is not available to you.
I started this big other bug on Thursday morning. It's been running around the clock. And like I said, I've got the back half of the bed, just probably got another hour to go. And then I got the 4 fenders and the tailgate and then all the small little stuff. So you're right. It's a 5-6 day burn.
It takes a minute. And you know what? With these big ones, I always try, if I can, for the joints where they glue together to be on the bed.
Yep.
Right now, I wasn't able to do it on the hood pieces, and so I'm gonna have to sand the back edge of these hood pieces so they fit good on the front. Yep. They're not bad, but you want as much contact as possible. It's hard to hold it all and do it. I'm amazed at my ability to be able to glue this stuff together. But where that hood joins, by the way, it's not an accident. It's sliced right on the hood line. But so that's scale. Now, once you go down the side of it at the fender, that's where you wouldn't have seen that line in real life. But I'll make it disappear. But that's another reason. Something we think about when we're slicing these up is I put that cut for the hood where the hood would be. And it's scale. And so if I don't make that, I don't need to make that line on the top where it hits the vent go away.
Right.
And it's already like chamfered out to receive the glue, you know? So the only real finish work on that's going to be the side here at the fender where my thumb is. So kind of cool. And yeah, I'm printing the front clip now, the headlights and all that. It's gonna be
very cool, very cool, very cool.
I'm excited to see what that looks like when you're done. Yeah,
right. That's nice. Can't wait to see it,
bro. If I finish it half as good as this one, man, it's gonna be chef's kiss style.
Linden over there quiet because he over there trying to figure out his printer. He just got out the box.
Jeez Louise.
Y'all know that, right? Y'all know Linden over there being quiet because he's trying to get his out the box. Go on and tell the truth, Linden. What you got going on, man?
No,
Hey, we see you got a red cat Valkyrie. I wouldn't doubt you got a printer over there too. Yeah, red cat Valkyrie. We see you. Oh, we see you now. Yeah, we saw that post you made. Huh, Linden? Don't get quiet on me now.
No, I got a few. I got a few that I'm looking at. Got a few.
Hey, all I'm gonna tell you is be careful. Don't grab the wrong one. They saying some of them getting discontinued.
Yeah.
He's shopping
Like
printers.
the one you was talking about earlier. That's the one I was looking at.
That Flash Forge?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, they said it. They saying that one being discontinued.
Yeah,
I just dropped the link. I just dropped the link for it in the chat. They said they can ship them out. $90 a piece. But if you go to the store, they're $85. But I'm good. But they probably pretty darn good printers, man.
I mean, $90. It's like that's the one I want for TPU. It just
they're all made with the same electronics. Just paying for the name.
Absolutely.
I think a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Cool.
I'd like to have, man, that new bamboo that cuts.
Oh, that does the engraving and all that, right?
Oh man,
I think slick.
That would
I would love to get my hands on that one as well.
But that thing's like what, $3,000 or something? It's ridiculous.
It's up there. You know why I want it for badging. That's the only thing these are missing, if you ask me, is some of the little metal badging and some of the trim, you know, little tiny Ford, little tiny Chevrolet stuff, whatever the name of the truck is, those little badges, you know. I don't know how good a job that thing would do that small, but man, that stuff all sets them off.
For sure.
You know, those little.
It probably would do pretty darn good.
I think it would be.
Cool. Hey guys, I'm gonna bust out of here. I got an early morning meeting with some guys, and so I'm gonna bounce.
All right, Mr. KKRC, we definitely appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Appreciate the invite, guys. It was a good time.
Definitely come back and hang out with us one night. Don't worry, I will be inviting you guys again. You know, Pilot Ryan, he moved in a long time ago. He just don't want to admit
it. Nah, you guys do a great show and have a lot of fun, and that's what this RC hobby is all about. So glad to be a part of it with you guys and be here for a couple hours. So we'll do it again.
All right, all right. We'll see you next time.
All right.
We'll see you later.
We definitely appreciate you joining us.
Yep. Thank you. You guys have a good evening.
See you too.
You too, man.
Awesome. Hey.
Yes, sir.
Mad props to him. Like literally, I say it all the time because it's the truth. I was intimidated by 3D printing. You know how it is. It's kind of like you need to see. It's nice to see somebody do it, right? Or
right.
somebody you know tackle it and get it done. And
hey, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of terrified of it. Like I thought it was gonna be overwhelming.
He was doing, I mean, audacious. I mean, I'd have been afraid to try the stuff he was pulling off. And man, I mean, it wasn't long after he had it. He had it sorted out enough to be giving me and Kirk bags full of parts because he had already got his built and he wanted somebody to do it with, you know? So, yeah, he hit the ground running, man. Mad props to Kelly for I can't thank him really enough for getting me into it because it was nice to see somebody do it. It took the mystery out of it. And then I could talk to somebody about it and feed off each other and come up with ways to attack the problems. And it's been a blast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Mad props to him. for that.
Yes, sir. Louie, so what printer do you have, Louie? What's up, Corey? Welcome in. Appreciate you joining us, man. I know you couldn't join us on the panel tonight, but we definitely appreciate you coming hanging out for a few minutes anyway.
Oh, longer profile.
Oh, a longer pro?
Yeah, longer profile.
Oh, okay.
Mine's is pretty simple. Mine's in advanced as y'all's, but to get the work done, to get the job done, definitely get the job done.
What?
You hear me? Hold up. You hear me better?
Oh, yeah.
All right. The clip was over the microphone.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I couldn't hear you. It sounded like you was in some water.
Yeah.
Mouse 213, welcome to the live. How you doing?
Yeah, my print ain't advanced as y'all, but it get the job done. I was thinking about getting another one. I ain't pick which one I want to get. The next one I want to get, not yet. So
yeah, that ain't bad. $145 for a Creality Ender 3 V3 3 SE. I don't think that's bad at all. Creality is all over the place. They got all kind of stuff on the market.
Yep.
So Pilot Ryan, was that your first 3D printer that you have now, or is this your second, third, or what?
That's the only one I've ever had is this one here. I got fortunate. Because I was shopping the P1S, which is way more inexpensive than this one. And my wife's like, you spend all this time on YouTube and you do all this. There was a time when I was getting a lot of product, and she reminded me, like, dude, you're whatever that influencer term is.
Absolutely.
She's like, write him an email. And I hadn't even, because it's not RC, I didn't even think about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When I years ago, I did magazine work, and then I would reach out to companies, and I hustled, and the magazine was a little bit a nice foot in the door for folks to be like, okay, this isn't just some joker asking for free stuff. He's like in it already.
Absolutely.
And anyway, I hadn't thought about that on the 3D printing stuff at all. And she's like, send him an email. Because I was ready. I saved up and I was about to drop on the P1S or whatever it was called. And so I sent him an email. I just let me go ahead and send an email just to get it out of the way, follow my wife's advice, and chalk it off to, okay, I tried, and now I'm gonna buy this P1S,
Mm-hmm.
They wrote me back the next day. I had an email from them.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
That's awesome. And they were like right on top of it.
They right on top. And they asked me like what I do with it and stuff. And I sent pictures of what me and Kelly were already doing with his, and turned them onto my Instagram, and which is like 30-some thousand followers or whatever. And the YouTube, which is not quite that at all. But I told him what I was going to do with it and what we were making, and it'll be a star of the show. You know what I mean? It'll be part of what we're doing now. And then they were like, all right, cool. We like that. I sent pictures of what we were doing and all. And then, and they said, which one do you want? And I said, well, if it's up to me, I mean, I'll take the best one you have.
I know that's right.
And they sent it. I mean, I praise God. Like they sent it and a bunch of filament and the AMS thing. And I'm like, wow.
Hey, that was a blessing.
I'm taking it. I couldn't believe it. Man. I couldn't believe it. Because I was a 3.2. I was a 3D 0 at that time. And with Bamboo Labs, now I'm a 3D printing hero. I'm just kidding.
What you over there working on? I hear you wrenching, Watt.
I got my
to
big
him.
rock diff out, my center diff in the big rock. I'm putting a little thicker fluid in it.
What's in their stock? 500K?
I think 100K maybe. I threw
100K?
$1 million. Yeah, I threw $1 million in there.
$1 million. $1 million's what's in the new monster truck.
Mm-hmm.
The V2 monster truck's $1 million now, I think, in all 3 diffs, and the version
The new
1.
grave digger, right?
The
son of a digger.
LMT. Yeah, LMT.
Yeah, the version 1 was like 500K in the center, and I think 100 in front and rear, and they stiffened it up, I guess, if they're going.
I like running stiff centers, just because it gives you a little bit more acceleration.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing the conversation the other day. Rob built it. Rob, what's it?
Built by Rob.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was talking about that earplug business. You know?
Oh yeah, that earplug business was. Woo,
Yeah,
wait.
that was a good tip, because I know a lot of people run earplugs, and I also know a lot of people that have problems with running the earplugs because, like he said, they're made to move. Your diffs are made to move. They're not supposed to be locked.
I mean,
Yeah, earplugs are really better for on road.
Yep.
That's what
Yeah,
earplugs.
if you want to go
locking
straight.
it, if you want to
Yep.
lock it up, it's really for on road.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really do it off road, and really I would do it in a more of a drag racing situation than just a just a speed run situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy because he do drag racing and he's saying, nah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't advise that.
No, he's saying off road in them off road cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's basically like putting a spool in there or a locker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, as long as the sledge, right? It's like the same wheelbase as the Creighton.
Yep.
I'll be right back. Too much hydration. Be right back.
When I drove that, man, the front tires ballooned really bad.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's how the Creighton is.
I think the Creighton's way better on that. Like it doesn't do it as bad. I think it's thicker, and so power stays to the wheels more. But once those front tires unload a little bit, the power went there.
Yeah, it sucks.
Ledge. And maybe the tires were a little more flimsy. I don't know what it was, but the sledge is pretty all right. But I didn't out of the box. The Creighton tires seem to behave better, you know, and I think that's the tires a little, but probably mostly the diff fluids that are in there.
Yeah, I think I don't know, because I know my V6 Creighton, the wheels balloon pretty crazy, but it seems to get the power down a lot better. I had a V5 for a while, and it just seems to do better. I think it's probably still the same 100K or whatever they throw in there, 500K.
Are your diffs holding up on the V6?
Yeah, they are actually, surprisingly.
Some folks are having trouble with that. It seems.
Yeah,
But,
I still have the plastic bulkheads too.
If it isn't broke, I mean,
don't fix it, right?
Don't fix it.
I'm saying
that's the same way. Like, I don't really like to rip into my diffs, but like if I'm having a problem, I'll go in there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like once you start messing around with stuff, it's easy to get stuff out of place, you know.
Yep.
And you got to be real careful on when you do pony up and buy replacements, man, because there's so many different variations of things. Yep. You better make sure it's the diffs for that one, because I think the input pinion and the diffs on the V6 are different than the V5.
Yeah, they are. They got different ring gears on the diff. So yeah, I think the pinion is different. Yep.
I think even the casing, the box form is. And you would
Yeah,
think
it's crazy.
you'd be able to just drop in, you know, whatever.
Buy one and go with it.
No, you better get it right. And gears aren't happy if they're not right. Like if that's the wrong input pinion for that diff.
Yep, you blew that money because your
and
first run, you're ripping them.
You find out how nasty it is. I learned that the hard way early on with the bashers. For me, I didn't do the research, so to speak, and I just threw diffs in whatever, and it was the wrong input pinion, and it was nasty sounding. I mean, it was not good.
I actually got rid of my V5 crate, and I only had it for like 2 months. But in those 2 months, that rear diff went, and I would buy new gear sets and change the gears, and every run it would go out. So I was like, man, I'm not going to keep spending money on this thing. I just sold it.
Man, and that's one thing sometimes I wish that when they get one that is working, like, leave it alone.
Right.
I had an early, probably version 2 or 3, I don't know, Creighton. I've had a few of them now because I like them. But I had a
they're awesome.
Regular ready to run, probably version 2, version 3, one of the red ones. And I M2C the I didn't want to spend the money on the chassis. I had already done a Notorious. Well, with an Outcast, I turned into a Notorious when they still had the 6S Outcast. The only thing you had to change was the shock towers and the body, and it was a Notorious, right?
Right.
So I M2C'd that whole thing, chassis, everything. And I was like, that's a little bit overkill. So on my Creighton, I just did the M2C parts for the braces and the shock towers, because by then I kind of knew how to land on the wheels a little better. And I'm like, with the thing, I may be able to avoid buying the chassis. And that thing was amazing. It was the best one I've had. And I don't know if I ever blew a diff on it. And it was killer. And I was sending it. And then the first EXB came out, and it was a roller. And I'm like, this got all this anodized stuff on it. They changed the diffs up to the limited slip. And so I sold my original Creighton. And like, man, first few runs, lo and behold, guess what happened? You know what happened. The diffs.
Oh, yeah. Diff issues.
Yeah, I never should have sold the original. So now I got this brand new one. The new diffs, the old diffs don't fit. I tried it. Old diffs aren't going to work. New diffs are out of stock because everybody else needs them too.
Right.
When you get something that works,
yeah, you better run with it.
Please run with it.
Exactly.
Keep it, because, man, how many SKUs you got for the same thing over a line of 6 variations?
Right.
I mean, I guess it's job security for somebody.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Job security. Yeah, you're right about that.
Most of their 6S line, like you said, they're basically all the same thing. You know, they got different bodies and different wheels, maybe different chassis, but it's all interchangeable for the most part. Like, you can interchange arms on these cars, but you can't interchange the diffs.
Right, and that was the best part when I was getting into this bashing, because I got me a couple 3S ones, and then I'm like, all right, 6S. Yeah. So I was with the Notorious and the Creighton, and I was able to use the same everything. The diffs, the A-arms, all the things, man. The shock tower rod ends and all that kind of business, you know.
Yeah.
Everything but the drive shafts and the chassis was interchangeable. Right, because the longer wheelbase, but even the drive shafts from the out to the wheels was okay. Yeah, and that was a good time when all the parts were interchangeable.
Absolutely, and nothing like something that's interchangeable with something else. I'm telling you.
It's
something go bad, something go up, one car go down, you can take a couple of parts off another one, put it on another one, and make it keep going. If push comes to shove.
if you only have especially early on, I learned, like, I only had a couple. Of course, when you first get into it, you only have a couple vehicles, and it's like, if one's down, that's bad enough. You got nothing to drive if you don't have another one. But what if one's down and the parts ain't available for a while?
Yeah,
now
right.
You're robbing a part. If you've got one that's within the range, you can either rob parts or go drive, the other one. And that was awesome. That was my favorite part about that. Once I discovered that, the 6S lineup was interchangeable really for most of it. I was like, this is what's up.
Yeah. What's going on, Just Bashing It?
I like Arma for that because they do that with like their 3S vehicles too. They're basically all the same thing. Especially now with this new version, like if you got a bunch of parts saved up from your old versions, you can bring most of that stuff over to that new platform.
Yeah. That I like that too. They're starting to make it where it used to be the brushed version of a Granite or the brushed version of a Senton. People get it and then want to go brushless. Now your diffs need change, your spur and pinion's different, like everything's different. So you better upgrade that too. Now the brush stuff is already got the right gearing in it. For if you do go brushless, you're good. You don't have to change the spur and pinion and diffs out, which is nice. Because I used to work at a hobby shop, and you would have folks come in there, and I did the same thing. My first basher, I made the mistake of buying brushed, and it's fine. It just depends what you expect. But I should have bought brushless. You know what I mean?
Understandable, yes.
I should have bought brushless. And the same thing would happen to these other folks at the shop. They try to spend their money wisely. They get brushed. And then they're back in a week like, hey, what brushless thing can I put in here? I'm like, well, here's this power system. Linden's got an extra one. Just hit him up. He may be able to loan you one. But if you put it in, you'll have to change the gearing out as well. And by the time you tell someone that, and they put all the time in, and they're already a newbie, so they're going to screw up the mesh or something. But they put in all the time to make this brush thing brushless, change the gearing out, tend to the drive shafts. I would just tell them, look, leave that one brushed the way it is. By the time you spend the money to make this right, you could just buy the one that's already set up and is brushless.
Right.
And I mean, I don't care what people do. I just want them to be informed when they're making the decision. And you may not like what I say, but at least you know what you're up against. Because you sell somebody a power system and they're back in a week and they've burned up all the gears. If you didn't tell them, you're not nice.
Yep.
So it's like, and actually being truthful, you may sell them another car anyway, because it's hard to argue with that. By the time you add up all the right bits to get it done, you're awfully close to just buying the brushless version of the thing you want.
In the first place, you right about that?
Yeah. I mean, you go the Gorgon, right? It's awesome. But if you go to the trouble of making it brushless, are the tires going to hold up? Is the drivetrain going to hold up?
Exactly. You right about that. Why I muted you until you finish wrenching. You right about that. I'm telling you, man. But I'm gonna be honest though. I've learned a lot about this daggone 3D printing stuff since I got into it. But it's just so much to learn. I mean, it seems like it's endless knowledge when it comes to this 3D printing. Like, it's just so much you can do. And I'm just barely scratching the surface. All I'm doing is grabbing files, clicking and clicking and clicking and it's printing. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing nothing special.
I think that's
now when you start doing what Louie doing, designing your own files, and what Pilot Ryan and Kelly doing, like modifying and designing, that's a whole nother level, man.
Well, I think we feel the same way though, right? I mean, I feel like we're just scratching the surface too, you know, and like I said earlier when Kelly was here, it's amazing what you learn just spending some time at it. You surprise yourself. And like, imagine this, the things you've learned and gone through making your 3-wheeler. If you do one again in 3 months, your approach may be completely different.
Absolutely.
There will be stuff you learn that'll slicken it up, the whole process for you. It's nuts. It's just putting it into use. You learn more than you ever really maybe intend to. I used to say that about, guitar, right? It's almost the same way. You may never look in the book. You may never go to music school, but if you pick one up and you mess with it every day, in a year, you're going to be able to get around on it. Just because. So spending time with something really is a great teacher, but it happens so slow. You don't know how much you know till you look back at your early days.
Oh, and just in the few days I've had it, I've learned a lot. Like before, I would just, as far as like the orientation, how to add more, because I was only printing one item at a time, and then I learned you can add more, how to add more stuff to the build plate, how to change the structure from like standard structure to trees, and like if you orient it wrong, you will be sanding it, because you know them structural supports, even though sometimes that's the best way to print it, like upside down, but those daggone structural supports sometimes, woo-wee, how you sanding.
Well, yeah, and you start realizing what it's going to give you for what you're asking it to do. And it's like, if you know the support side is going to be ugly, okay, I'll make it where that's the inside part where I'm never going to see it anyway. Or if there's overhangs or the bottom side, is going to be ugly. Well, is that okay for me on this or not? I try, and I'll experiment and try, and then you guys know I try to be cheap on it, and so I'll try to save time and filament, but sometimes it's not worth it. It's like, let it burn through the support material. It's okay, because when you're done, the top of this thing versus what I was getting trying to be cheap.
Oh,
look at that.
Ooh.
And I can finish that and make it nice, but man, this is a little better start.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yo, you want to know you want to know what your best friend could be for your edges when you ain't getting them on the bottom? Check it out.
What's that?
He on solo, top. There you go.
Oh yeah, Dremel.
Yeah, nah, that's not a Dremel. It's like a Dremel, but it's a little bit more sensitive. This is what they use inside the nail salon for the females getting their nails done, and it files it down to file the nails down. That's the best. Right. This is a little bit lighter than the Dremel, but this thing right here is the best right here, to file down, and it gets it nice and smooth. You put like the finish on it, the finish piece on it, that get it nice and smooth, and that'll get your edges real. It'll feel like a baby skin, and it ain't that much power. Like a Dremel, you'll put a hole inside of it. If you run it and it gets stuck, you'll put a hole inside of it, a dent, so to say. This right here, a nice smooth finish on it.
Is that kind of a slower RPM on it?
Hold on, give me a second. Let me get the name box out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I use a Dremel for everything, bro.
Me too. I use a Dremel.
I use it.
Yes, sir. A Dremel with a metal bit. Y'all know how I do.
Yep.
Grind it out, baby.
Grind it out.
Man, I use a lot of hand tools.
So this the full set. It comes with a box. You got the box.
Okay.
Got the control box, and then it comes with the piece on it, and it's give you how much power you're gonna get for the
Yeah.
You could turn it all the way up and then spin hard. You could turn it down and spin a little bit lighter. You got the reverse. That's the power on and off. This is so it can spin left or spin right. And then the power on here turns it on and it goes. And it's not as strong as a Dremel. A Dremel, you don't have no control over the power that you're putting into something. So a Dremel, you gotta that's all hand control. You gotta just barely touch it. And then you can't get a smooth finish with unless you get the sanding pads, the finished sanding pads to actually do it a full finish smooth touch. With this one, you could get a smooth touch out of just they give you the metal pieces and it gets smoother. And then some of them feel like just a flat piece. They don't feel like there's no groove inside there, to where you could just touch it and get them curved and get it nice and smooth. But this is what they use inside the nail salon.
Huh.
And you smooth it out. That's what I use for my lights, to smooth out my edge pieces on my lights. And bro, this thing works perfect.
I like that.
Because edge pieces.
Yeah, without being too aggressive and without also having to do it by hand.
Yeah, that by hand is a headache, bro. I can't do it by hand. That's too much.
Man, you ought to see me. It's like yoga contortionist trying to get the angle right to sand this and that. Because I mean, all these doors and windows and lines and curves, I mean, I'm getting them. And man, it's like arthritis.
Hey, that's what I said about this three-wheeler. I said, man, I do not want to sand this thing, man. I do not want to sand it.
Yeah.
Only thing is with that thing is you need one of them blowers that Todd was giving away, because that thing leaves you're sand something down and your table is full white. It's all white. Yeah, you blow all that on the floor, and after about a week, you start walking around feeling like you got a bunch of filament dust on your feet, tracking it everywhere. Yeah, that's the only. Yeah,
I want to make a booth in here, because man, a lot of times I would, if I could make the mess in here sanding, I would sand in here, but I always try to do it outside. I don't want to do it in here because it's a mess. Yeah. But man, if I had me if I rigged up a fan to suck it out, I would sand and paint in here if I could get away with it. I use a lot of rattle can regular spray paint on these.
Yeah, so Pilot Ryan, you print in gray or black. Do you like use like a primer? You prime it and then you paint it, or you do your body work and then prime it and paint it?
Everything. There's really not a whole lot of method. What happens really is I get sick of looking at it in the filament color that it is, or it's a few different colors of filament, and so I just can't stand it. So I'll go ahead and hit it with whatever I got, or whatever I think I want underneath to show through if I, am going to sand through and things like that. So I'll just, if it's rough, I'll go ahead and hit it hard with, like this is going to get worked before I ever put paint on it because of those glue lines and stuff.
Okay.
Like I'll give this a buzz with, I got a Porter Cable orbital sander that's looks like an angle grinder, but it's
7-inch,
and it's awesome. And it's a little aggressive, but because I know I'm going to do a ton, I'll buzz that one time on the flats bits like the roof or the hood if I need to, one time for your mind, and then clean it off and then spray it out. And when I spray it, it's almost like a guide coat where it kind of highlights what needs the work. And so
hold on. That what you're saying, that porter cable that you have, is it a dual action porter cable or is it a rotary?
It's an orbital and a rotary. So it's spinning and it's orbital. I used to use it
yeah, it's a dual action. So it's spinning and oscillating. Got you.
On wood floors.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I use them just about, not every day, but whenever I have a job that requires those.
I used to use that thing for wood floors on the edges because I could get in there. If you use an old school edger, it's not orbital, it just spins. And so you get the swirl marks, but with the orbital, you can hide your work, which means less work. And I'd use it on strip and wax jobs and all kinds of stuff on edges, but I'll use that on flat spots and something that needs a lot of work. And then after that, it's all by hand. But so this one will probably get hit with the porter cable. It'll get hit with some paint. I don't even care, multiple colors. I'll do like a rust color terracotta. I'll do a couple different colors of blue. And then it kind of presents itself to me where the lines are still showing or where the seams might be. And then I'll start with the Bondo. And then I'll sand that, paint it, sand it, paint it, sand it, paint it. I just keep going because I'm stupid. But when I'm done, I'm telling you, you don't see where the things seem together, you know, and that's kind of my thing. I don't want to see the print lines. I don't want to see where the glue joints were. So
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'll work till they're gone. And
hey, that's some serious work. I can tell you that.
It's art, dude.
Yeah, those bodies are crazy.
Yeah. You can literally look and see how much work was actually put in to create those bodies. Like
right.
You can tell there was a lot of work put in to create those bodies. No doubt about that.
Hey, I bet it's super rewarding seeing it out on the trail.
I mean, it's super. I guarantee it's super rewarding seeing it coming off the printer after you put in all that work. Just seeing each part come together, and then once you actually get everything glued together and you sand it down and Bondo it and paint it and get it how you want it and install it on the body. Man, I mean, I can just only imagine how satisfying that is.
It's crazy.
I was so satisfied seeing this thing, and I'm not even finished.
Yeah, like there's so many different steps to the reward. You know, like finally getting it off the printer and then like starting to glue it up. And I mean, legit, it looks like a lot of work here in my hand. To me, I already know because what I do is I'm going to be working. And with all the finished work at the beginning, it's definitely outside work. Once I get to the more getting closer to done, I can do a little bit of that sanding in here. But I learned a lot with this one, and so I'm printing it in an orientation that's going to make for less work. I'm doing a better job with the seams, which is going to make for less work. But yeah, the reward of it coming off, and then once you get the glue knocked off and your first like coat of paint and start seeing it, every time you throw effort at it, it becomes less and less work needed and more closer to getting it mounted up and seeing it run. So the reward is all throughout, you know, and right now it's just looking like I got a lot of work to do. But once it get like this feels different than this one does. Like this one, I got to run the lights and mount it up, do the windows, and this is out on the trail. I'm making a video, you know? So it's a big, long process, but along that whole way is a ton of different stops along the way that are each one kind of rewarding and a dot on the timeline of that project. It's all the problems that you have to solve along the way, man. I really, this whole thing found me by accident, dude. And it was really Kelly's fault with that first one he made me. Because I was like, this is my cup of tea. And I didn't even know it.
Yes, sir.
I like the process so much. And most people don't know what they're looking at when they look at one of these, unless they're doing it too. But if you look close at these things in the videos, it's like they put their foot in it.
Man, I'm telling you, when I first saw those bodies y'all started creating, I was like, man.
Because I think it's enough to make them. You know, you could slap one on a thing ugly, but to have them, they just cool just because of their size already. But then
right.
If it's all about
refine it to make it how you would like it.
Blow tacking and static, you know, these things, and Bondo this and that, and blocking them out and doing all the real things to these. You can't do it to Lexan because it's not rigid enough, but you can treat these like a real one. It's there. If you're talking about doing scale stuff, it doesn't get any more scale than that. Because the process.
And somebody asked a question earlier saying, can you mold Lexan off of those bodies y'all built? I meant to ask that question, my bad.
There is probably a way, and with the right equipment, to make molds and vacuum make that happen. The way they make Lexan bodies, right? It can, honestly, with modeling, anything can be done with the right equipment or the willingness to do the work. I think the equipment you need to vacuum, I don't really know a lot about that process. I think GNCRC was doing some vacuum forming 24 scale or 18 scale monster truck stuff a while back.
Yeah, cause I think he was doing like the crush bodies and everything.
Yep. And imagine this size, how big of a machine
it would take.
Bro. And then the more detail you have, well, I think why some of the Lexan bodies we see out there available in the market, I mean, if you just ask a guy to what a square body looks like, let's say, you know what it looks like, you know what it's supposed to look like, but then when you get the Lexan version, why does it look goofy? The answer is the process. It had to be made to be able to still come off the mold, right? Or hard lines or corners or, you know, things like that. Or if you don't make concessions and make it a little cartoony, now all of a sudden you got a Lexan body that's 3 pieces you got to put together to make it right. And nobody wants all that. So I think that's why you see these classic bodies sometimes being offered that, to me, don't do the real one justice on scale looks. Like us airplane dudes, we know what a P-51 Mustang's supposed to look like. Don't give me no cartoon looking P-51. If you're able to mold this stuff out of foam, panel lines, rivet details, all that, you better make it look right. And I think with Lexan, you've got the limitations with the way they're made, that they just simply can't make some of these things look right. And so you have all these Silverado-esque, you know, Tacoma-ish bodies that aren't quite there on the lines.
Chevy-ish.
Yeah. Chevrolet may be. This is close enough. I don't know. But I think with the, you know, ABS bodies, like hard bodies like the yellow FJ40 and some of the RC 4-wheel drive crawler bodies and boom racing and some of these ABS created hard bodies are fantastic because they are able to make them with the scale fidelity they deserve, because they're piece at a time instead of one big vacuum formed situation. So, long answer to a short question. I suppose you could vacuum form these if you had enough power to suck that big a sheet down. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You'd have to heat up a big sheet and have some serious vacuum.
Yes, you're right about that. Like Just Bashin said, shout out to the 27 in the chat. If you haven't smashed the like button, don't forget to smash the like button, fellas. Hey, that is so crazy about how the tariffs have made these companies decide to discontinue some of these products, man. That is crazy.
And it's everywhere, right? It's the printers, it's RC, it's hopefully we get over it, because man, small businesses suffer first, so do the consumer. I mean, apparently, imagine with these tariffs, like all the orders that people in China are out of work too, because the orders aren't coming in. Absolutely. Eventually, someone's going to have to, I don't want to get into politics or nothing, but eventually somebody, it's got to shake loose somehow, or it's going to get bad. Yeah. It's either gonna get better or it's gonna get worse. We don't know which way it's gonna go right now, but hopefully it gets better. But luckily, some guys have been saying that shops haven't been raising their prices on some of the items because they already had the inventory. But at the same time, you got to look at it like this. Say you just you got a whole store full of inventory, right? And you're gonna order more once this inventory is gone. So it's like you might as well go ahead and mark this stuff up right now, because once you make your next order, you're gonna be paying more for the product and everything anyway. You're paying more for it and you're making less. The little shops, it's gonna be hard. And I ran a shop. It was hard already. Absolutely. And so what's going to happen with 145% tariff baloney is the little shops aren't going to be able to hang. And it's going to end up, there's not enough margin in it to extend to the small operators. And so just to keep the big dog alive, it's going to all have to come from the source, because there isn't enough in it to sustain the rest. It's not good. It's not good. And you gonna have to pry my RCs from my cold dead hands, and that's how a lot of us feel. But absolutely. Yep. I wonder, are we going still hurt? It still hurts. It's still expensive. I wonder, are we gonna get any companies to decide to come to the US and sell build their cars? Like, I guess ship boatloads of parts and assemble them in a factory here. I wonder if we're gonna get that. That would be great, but I don't see that happening, but we'll see. I think we'd all love to see that happen. And part of this is a symptom of what has happened over many years, where manufacturing has left because absolutely we incentivized greed, and folks govern and make decisions based upon the bottom line. And when it's not attractive to stay put and keep your money local, where are they going to go? I mean, you can't even you can't blame companies for going elsewhere to sustain and make their money. So it's years and years and years and years of outsourcing these jobs. Even if we decided, hey, you know what, let's make them here. No matter what it is, what industry, no matter what it is, good luck. Good luck, because it didn't happen overnight. The reason partly they moved overseas anyway was for cheap labor. It's not going to be cheap here. And you've got more regulation and EPA business going on, I think, here than maybe you might in other places. So absolutely, that's a big deal as well. I just think we've created all kinds of hurdles for our own selves to get over. So I'd love to see it happen. I'd love to see us making things. And
That would be great.
Companies are looking elsewhere, even in other countries, to find places to continue production, because if you're in a war over pricing and tariffs with your main man, then you may have to shop around.
Absolutely.
But big moves like that take a lot of time.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while before something like that happens. I mean, because that's a major move.
Folks are playing the waiting game right now and developing contingencies to make those moves, I think, if necessary. But the reality is most people would rather most people generally just want business to continue as usual. It's easier.
I think I've seen some drone company said they were going to try to start doing some start building in the US, like, well, not really, FPV drone parts and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? You know, it may be one of those things where in a weird way it cycles back to more of the, it might end up being it is only the small guy who can still exist. I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, I mean, it's a little bit niche, but there's a guy making leaf springs for a bunch of popular, you know, crawlers and stuff right now. What's his name? It's all over Facebook. Folks are going nuts. These guys, he's making these leaf spring kits for all these popular crawlers, and they're really still performance oriented. Because generally you think leaf springs, you think, okay, limited performance, but
absolutely,
they're these are actually pretty good. And that dude can't keep up. I mean, he's got massive attention, and people are wanting his product. And I mean, it's way smaller scale than any of this big company stuff is. But I mean, people are gonna, if money gets tight, you have to just keep with what you already have. You may not be buying new. You're just gonna hope to keep running what you have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, that's another reason why I said, hey, let me buy this 3D printer, because if prices are going to continue to rise, I can print out cars, I can print out all kind of little gadgets, and that'll keep me content for a little while until whatever happens. And hopefully things go back to normal, but who knows, you know?
And I mean, and you can't sit around and wait. So you got to do what you can do.
This is the new normal. What you talking about going back? This is the new normal right now.
Oh, definitely. I know that, Louie. I mean, hey, so sometimes you gotta hope and wish. You know what I mean?
Hey, 2 weeks to flatten the tariff, right? We've heard that before. It ain't gonna be 2 weeks. Yeah, you just gotta do what you can. And for me, it's a little bit like that with the planes too. There was a time where I was getting all the planes, all the new releases. It kept me busy. And before that, I was buying them to like stay in that game on the YouTube side of things.
Exactly.
I cannot afford keeping up, right? If I'm not in the loop and I'm not getting them really, I can't buy everyone. I'd like to, but I can't. So what do? You work with what you got. I'm gonna use what I already have. I'm gonna create with them, paint them up, 3D print some cockpits, explore FPV immersive video capture. You know, work with what you got. Do videos on how to do this, how to do that, how to set up flaps, how to program safe, how to set up throttle cut, whatever. Those things are kind of complicated processes if you've never done some of it. And so it doesn't cost, I don't have to buy a plane to do a video on how to set up dual rates. You know, So if you're playing the YouTube game and you get tired of buying everything that comes out to try to keep up, there's a way to work with what we got.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. It's always a good way to work with what you got.
Hey, like you guys are doing a great job. Involve the community, get the speed runs going, get whatever, you know. I think me and Kelly need to do a build off. We need to both get a kit, and because we're live and together now. I changed my day to Wednesday so I can have him.
Yeah, guys, don't forget, definitely tune in Pilot Ryan Wednesday night. Just Bashinit is live the same night as Pilot Ryan, but they go live an hour difference, and normally Just Bashinit ends maybe 30 minutes after Pilot Ryan starts. So definitely try to hang out both places tomorrow night, guys.
Yep. And
Yes,
man, no harm intended on that. I've been streaming for 6 years, dude, and YouTube since 2012. I've been streaming by myself most of that 6 years. I'm tired of it by myself. I've seen shows where it's a guy by himself. It's a drag, man. I know it is. And shows where there's multiple people or two people, so much better. And I got to the point where I'm like, listen, I'm not going to do this anymore unless I can do it with somebody. And I mean, honestly, Wednesday night, I usually watch Harley and Scale Builders Guild live stream takeover show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm missing that now because I'm doing it on Wednesday because that's Kelly's really only day that he can do it and commit. And I'm like, it's worth it to me to keep the show going and make that move because I don't really want to quit doing it, but I want someone to do it with me. And I think it'd be fun to do a build off.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
hey, it looked like y'all were having a lot of fun on last Wednesday night.
So, man, every time he's been on, it's been awesome. It's been fun. And
like you could tell, like you could just feel the energy. You could tell both of you guys were generally having a good time, enjoying each other's company, and just talking RC stuff.
And we have inspired each other a ton, right? Like he's an airplane guy that I got into when I used to start talking about bashers on my live stream before. He was one of the first guys to start giving me the business. Like, man, I thought this was a plane show and this and that. Right. And then dude's got a bunch of bashers and we're bashing and stuff together. And then the crawler thing happened and he got into crawlers. And then the 3D printing thing happened and I started doing that. So, I mean, dude's an airplane guy. Hey, that's it.
That's what's up. Hey, I need me one of those.
You printed it that fast?
Yeah. And I stopped it and added the black letters so it can be. When Pilot Ryan said he had to send it, I said, oh, let me see what I can do to try to make it work.
Yeah, I need me one of those.
Ty just one-upped me with the A1 Mini, dude.
No, I didn't. Cut it out. Cut it out. All I did was stop and added a color. Paused it, unloaded, and loaded.
That's
the same thing I did for what I did the 3-wheeler.
That's smart. Now I got
same thing I did when I did the plane. This little business here.
Yeah.
Stop and just add a color in. Hit unload, load a new color in. Same thing I did with this.
I think that's neat too, because that looks awesome. I've never done it on purpose, but I've definitely run out of filament on all this stuff I've done, and so it's kind of neat to watch it change color. And you're doing a good job of planning it out. I never plan it out. I just run out.
Well, no, you actually got, like, if you don't know exactly when it's going to run out, you got to be looking at it. That's the bad thing.
Yeah.
But this little game came out pretty darn good.
I'm glad pretty darn cool. It makes sense, too, because we're both we've done all of it. Airplane, crawler, basher. I'm going to get him racing this summer. So yeah, that's pretty good deal. That's pretty good mix.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm super glad he does it all because we really spent a lot of time talking airplanes at the beginning of last show and last Wednesday, because I kind of felt bad canceling the Sunday show. I didn't want my airplane guys to feel like I'm done with that or anything. I'm not. I'm just one day's enough.
Yeah. I mean, and then like you said, it started becoming overwhelming. Like, and then you want to make sure you want to be on with somebody else or that you can have fun with, you know, other than just being on by yourself.
It's been 6 years, man. That's a long time by yourself.
Absolutely. That's a long time by yourself.
I mean, I did a few interview shows, but mostly it was just showing up and riffing off the comments, you know, pretty low key. And then it's changed a lot. Like I said, I used to get a lot of the airplanes. Man, I'm not even flying that much anymore, really. I mean, I will, and I am, but not like I was. And so having a dedicated night for it didn't seem to make sense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now
that
it's all
crazy.
in one, and everybody's got
what other little gadgets you got over there? I need to print out, Pilot Ryan, because this thing. I'm over here measuring screws I just took out of the out of the 3-wheeler, and they perfect. Oh man, this is too funny.
You got to talk to Sinister on that, because he had a bunch of everything I've printed has only been my RC stuff and this. So I'm the wrong guy to ask. Check out Jay Sinister, because he.
No. Let me see your Tom.
You don't need me for that. But
what? This?
What is that? Yeah.
Oh, it's a screw gauge.
Oh man.
Like you see M2 2.5, M3, M4, and then I got a screw right in the top. Well, I just dropped it.
What is that?
So what you do? You screw the screw and then tells you what it is?
No, well, you can stick the screw in the side right here, and it tell you the size of it, right? Then you can put it right here in the top, set it right here in the top, and it'll tell you the length. So if you got a bunch of screws, you can literally tell what kind of screw it is by just laying around. Like this right here is an M4 16. Stick it in there, right in the M4. It fits perfect in M4. And then you put it in the top and you hold it. Hopefully I don't drop it. And it should, and you'll see it, it'll go down to 16.
Yeah, that was my first benchy. It seemed like a useful thing to me.
It seems, listen, when you showed it to me, I said, useful is not even the word for that.
Especially for the kit building the crawlers. Every bit of that, man, it was, or a race rig or anything. That's a good little tool.
Man, this thing right here is definitely gonna come in handy with all the bills I got planned. Yeah, and all the screw kits and all the screws I got to put in. This, even working on the 4-wheeler, 3-wheeler. I mean,
on a normal RC, you already know what the thickness of the screw is. You just don't know the length sometimes.
Right.
And that right there is a big plus.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, it was the first print I did.
And I'm over here hey, look, we over here printing out boats, and you printing out tools. We printing out boats.
I was getting to work right away.
Jeez Louise, we are not the same. Hey, he printing out functional tools, and I'm over here printing out benchies. Come on, man.
You just printed that?
Yeah, literally just now.
How you get the black on it?
I paused it and added the black.
Because
I paused it, unloaded the red, and loaded the black. I was literally, that's why I kept turning around when we were talking. I kept turning around watching, and Pilot Ryan said he painted his black and sanded it so it would show up. So I said,
That's what I would have did. I would have just took the marker and dabbed it where I needed it to be black.
Yeah, of course it was all green. It was a little bit hard to see. So I just Sharpied the whole thing and then sanded it real quick. But Ty I wouldn't have even known to do what Ty just did when I printed this, right? You're already a leg up. because I never in a million years would have thought about, okay, pause the print and then change the color, which is what Ty did, and it's slick.
Yeah, because I was about to print mine in green just like yours. I'm telling you, I had literally reached under the desk and grabbed the green and was like, I'm gonna print mine in green too. And then I was like, man, it's red already on the reel. I gotta unload and all that.
Ty just 3D print shamed me. I have to print another one, dude.
I'll cut it out, Pilot Ryan. You got the AMS machine over there. Literally, you can do it anytime you want.
Hey, I'm so slow. I haven't even figured out how to use it yet.
If you look at the print, when you look at this print, it shows you how many grams of each color it's gonna use. Like it literally said. I'm gonna tell you right now. Before I printed it, let me go back.
See, that's what I mean. You guys, you don't have to be smart, obviously, right? I'm getting along without knowing how to do simple things.
It said 16 grams of the base color and 1 gram of the black of the top, like the letters, 1 gram of the letters. So basically, you stop it within 5 minutes of it ending. Like once it gets to like the last 5 minutes, that's when you stop it. Oh, is it 3 minutes or 5 minutes? One of them, I'm not sure. But I just watch it until once it lay down that first letter right here. I think it was, lay down this first number right here on the side. Once I saw it lay down this first number, I paused it, changed the color, and it went back. Then it went all the way around, and it went around twice.
So you probably can too. In the software, you can drag it down to see what line number that starts happening.
Oh, well, I printed that from my phone through the Bamboo Studios. I mean, what is this? Bamboo Handy. Yeah. I printed that through Bamboo Handy. Like if I went through Bamboo Studios, I could control it better. Bamboo Handy, you can't really control it. It's more just press and let it go.
You still did it. That's awesome. I gotta make me a new one now.
Hey, these things are gonna definitely come in handy. I can tell you that. Now I gotta start looking for tools.
Man, they're out there. There's all kinds of stuff. My kid was telling me today he wants something for his shoes. And I'm like, man, and my kid's into picks. So they're storing shoes and then there's displaying shoes. And so
oh wow.
I guarantee you there's something out there, 3D print file for displaying your high tops.
Mm-hmm. I even saw somebody printed out some daggone shoes out of TPU. I said, get out of here.
Flexible.
Yeah, they said it was so soft, and I'm like, get out of here, dude. Hey, I'll be right back. Too much hydration.
Let me hop in it. Let me take a look at the chat.
Man, that's crazy. I like that 3D printer Ty got. He doing a lot with it.
Definitely. Lasso Kid, can your printers print in metal? These cannot, but there are printers out there that do.
Print metal? How?
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I heard some that print metal.
I got a buddy who works, they do a bunch of government contracts and they're prototyping, they're printing metal.
Wow.
Yeah. They're printing metal. I actually should see if he can make me some stuff, actually. But no, some of these printers print different materials but it's basically all plastics in varying degrees.
Yeah, y'all gonna have me looking for tools all night because I figure I'm already done printing out my 3-wheeler, so it's nothing else to print out but some tools and stuff.
you gonna find something else to print out. Watch.
Oh, I already found some tool stands, but I just never printed them out. Something to hold all my drivers.
Big Jim, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna start printing out a whole world. You're gonna have a whole street in a second. you're gonna buy you a drone just to go up to take a picture and see how your street look, and then you're gonna start printing out trees and houses. And
shout out to everybody in the chat, man. My mods out there, how many mods we got in the chat? Moderators, do me a favor. What we're gonna do right now is
we're gonna shoot it 11:20.
Yes, sir. We're gonna drop them links, moderators, everybody who participating in the chat, drop them links out there. Everybody who hanging out, participating, drop them links for them. We're gonna end the show at 3 hours. We got 15 minutes to go in the show, fellas. It's been another fantastic live stream talking these 3D printers. I definitely always enjoy Pilot Ryan when he joins us.
Thanks.
We definitely need to get him over here to talk some airplanes one Tuesday night, whenever he's available. But we'll figure that out. Cause I'm not quite pilot tie yet, but I'm signing on. I'm working on it.
Hey, I've spent a lot of. It's so hard to talk about yourself without sounding like an ass. You know, I apologize in advance, but when it comes to the planes, I can be extremely helpful. Let's just say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're a big help to me, man. It was a big help to me. I've been watching them videos.
Bro, since 2012 on YouTube with the planes, dude. And
I was watching Wild Bill Monday Night Pilot Ryan was flying.
Hey, man, last night I fell asleep.
You guys see me cut up in there?
Yeah, even though he was crashing a little bit, crashing into other people's planes.
Hey, I'm cutting up in there. And if you don't do it, you don't know how kind of clever some of that stuff is we're doing. But when we form up and a bunch of us are flying together in the same shot, that's not easy at all.
No, it's not easy. No. Yeah, I like the way I like the one when you was following somebody last night too. That was nice.
I try to get, well, especially if I know he's following me in the stream, I want you guys to see, instead of me just showing out, I want you guys to see something cool as good as I can. And so I'll try to follow somebody who's not being absolutely crazy. So you get to see that formation flying deal. When I was a kid, I grew up around air shows.
Oh, okay.
My grandparents raised me. My grandfather flew for a living, and he flew in air shows for fun. And so we'd be up in these World War II airplanes, meeting up with other people who had them, and flying in to places. And because flying's just cool already. But man, when you in a real one and you can look right out the window and there's another one, dude, that doesn't happen often. That doesn't happen in civilian aviation. You're not supposed to fly that close together. That's like wartime, let's go kind of stuff.
Right.
And not that I think war is cool, but the people who made history in those hot rods of the sky were like 20-year-olds, bro. And they're flying, they're all together, they're formed up. It's just cool. And so in air shows and stunt teams do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Them air shows and stunt teams, that's nice too.
So even in that real flight, we're all flying different planes. So they kind of have different physics. One's bigger, one's smaller, one's a jet, one's a prop job. One's got to fly faster. One needs less power or it's going to go too fast. So, man, we got jets, prop jobs, stunt planes, warbirds, all this stuff forming up, adjusting our throttle and keeping it where we're like. There was part of that stream where Wild Bill had the camera on JCB. And the camera, when it's on you, it just shows in front of you. And I wanted to reach out to Bill. I was like, hey, literally everybody is following JCB. But you don't see nothing because the stream was following JCB.
Right.
So it's like, Bill, dude, hit the guy in the back, because if you hit the guy in the back, you would see 6, 7, 8 planes all together.
Oh man, I know that was so cool.
Oh, that would have been.
Hey, I fell asleep last night, fellas.
We all saw that because we were flying our own planes, and so we were all in this huge group following JCB for a while. And I don't even know if he knew it because he was the guy in the lead. But I should get Bill's number and hit him up. I'd be like, bro, put the camera on so-and-so because dude's in the back and we got 8 of us doing this right now.
Oh man, that would have been crazy.
It was you get up in the mix with us, get your real flight on and come on up. And it's no big deal because if you crash somebody in real life, it costs somebody $1,000, but all you got to do is hit the reset button in real flight.
Yeah, yup, and you right back up in the air.
You right about that?
Respawn. Zelda.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, that is so cool watching that real flight. Last night, woo-wee, I was down for the count. And daggone sinuses.
Yeah, because Wild Bill was like, I'm waiting for Ty to get in here. He got real flight.
Listen, them sinuses were draining, and they had my stomach feeling crazy. I was like, oh my God, I feel sick.
JCB 67. He said, I knew you was back there.
Oh, is he in the chat? Sweet. Yeah.
Man, that was some awesome flying last night.
Hey, man, I wish you could have seen it from our point of view because there was a minute. It was like there was no one in the sky at all because we were all seeing JCB's chase camera view. And nobody was in the sky because we were all behind them. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was killer. That was
I know that
fun.
was so cool.
He says, one of the first times, me and JCB a few weeks back, we formed up together. I don't know if I formed up on him. He formed up on me. We didn't even talk. I wasn't hearing him talk. We just did it. And you kind of just know if somebody's taking it easy that you can do that. If you're going crazy, ripping through the barns and doing a bunch of stunts, it's hard to form up on a person. But if you're just kind of flying the circuits, it's easy to form up on somebody. And me and him, it was like Jedi style. We didn't talk at all, but we had done a pretty good job of forming up and flying with each other for quite a while without ever even talking. And then because I hadn't done the real flight for a long time, I just got mine up and running a few weeks ago again. And now it's on, dude. It's on. So we're forming up once a week. Let's form up air show style. And it's a blast. It's an absolute blast.
Absolutely. I can't wait until I can join. Hopefully next week I'll be on there.
And man, yeah, we crash each other. It's all right. And now I got my computer turned up so I can hear some guys talking. And man, you'll hear somebody crash. Even if you don't see it, you'll like hear them crash. And then they laughing. So you don't hear that in the stream, but you hear it when you're in the room flying.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
Yeah, you can hear dudes laughing. And you can even hear when someone pulls up on you. Like if I'm just flying and then I hear like a jet sound and it doesn't leave, then I know probably somebody's hanging there with me. So I'm going to not fly crazy and let's stay together, you know? Or same thing with one of the gas jobs or whatever. You can hear that engine pull up on you in it.
Exactly.
Flying's
I remember
cool.
was it about a week or so ago? You were flying like this, and then you turn horizontal like that and start flying through buildings and all kind of stuff. I was like, look at Pilot Ryan showing off, man.
Hey, I'm gonna give them a show. If they put the camera on me, I'm gonna do something. I be knife edging all sideways crazy and land some World War II hot rod supposed to go fast on a roof. You know what I mean? I'm stupid. Yeah. I'll put it. It's real flight. It don't cost me nothing. I'll put that thing on a roof. I'll land it on a water tower, the gas station. I'll fly through a hole I ain't supposed to. I don't care, man. I'm doing it.
I know that's right. I would too.
Upside down, I don't give a rip. That's fine. And what's crazy is it really does add up to a bunch of practice. Just like I was talking about earlier, spending time with something, you surprise yourself that you become actually good at it. That muscle memory you develop from flying on this real flight, it will translate in the real world. You'll be better for having spent the time because it won't be foreign to you when you're doing it for real.
Absolutely. That's the main reason why I wanted to get real flight. 'Cause I said, at least I'll be familiar with flying instead of just jumping out there and, crashing, tearing up a couple $100 plane.
That's the one thing I noticed at the shop, because and this is all shops and really probably RC as a whole. I think a lot of people think airplanes are cool, but most folks, or not as many, if you've never done it before, you already know you're going to crash whatever that price tag is on the box.
Exactly.
You just already know. And if you don't think that's going to happen, well, then you're a little bit foolish, right? If you've never done it before, you're going to crash it, dude. So real flight is your best tool to save some money and learn it up without that expense. And so a lot of people would look at a plane and think, oh, that's cool. I wish I could do that. But they're going to go for the car, the truck that they know they can run. And you don't have to really maybe go to somewhere special to do it the same way as you do the planes. And so I would say when I was at the shop, man, it's probably 20 to 1, 15 to 1 on sales, trucks versus planes. Very low percentage of planes would sell versus vehicles. That's a big spread. 50, 20 to 1. And so as a whole, I think the whole RC kind of community is that way. The flyers are a whole different thing. And so many, I mean, most of us flyer guys, that's all we did forever. I crossed over a ton of dudes in the surface by mistake, when I started playing with the bashers. I'm sorry I said play.
Yeah, Ty would have ate me alive for that, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, he get a pass. He don't come too often. I can't run him off. Guys.
I knew better. My bad. I feel worse about saying that than any cuss words. That's a T.
Hey fellas, we rolling up on the 3-hour mark, man. It's been a fantastic live stream. Another one in the books, man. Talking about this 3D printer stuff, man. These lives probably will never end, man. We'll probably continue this 3D printing stuff forever, man. Because it's always gonna be something we're gonna learn. It's always gonna be something I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna figure something different out. It's just gonna continue. It's gonna be snowballing. So we definitely gonna be doing this again. So definitely tune in. Oh man, Sergeant J, appreciate that. Oh man, I didn't see you do that. Thank you so much, sir.
Hey,
shout out Sergeant J.
Sergeant J, man.
Oh,
putting it down.
Scorch Core. I didn't see that either. My bad. I missed all y'all. Thank you so much. Oh, let me see. Definitely go subscribe. Sergeant J, Scorch Core.
That's Lasso Kid.
Huh?
Scorch Core, that's Lasso Kid.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lasso Kid.
Sergeant J, you got me thinking about those Relarlo tires, man. The 5.7 inches, I did the research, versus 7 inches diameter on the SCX6s. I'm going to get me a set of those Relarlo tires for one of these builds. I'm just curious. Because I won't have to cut the arches up so much. A little more scale, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like making stuff perform that looks like maybe it shouldn't, but I don't care about performance solely. If I was all about performance, I'd make something that looked like a robot or a bug. You know, you ever see those crawlers that don't look like anything? It looks like it's just a chassis and the wheels.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for me. But, I mean, it's cool though. It's for some people. But I like something old school, just like my planes. That I can make it good.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's got its limits.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We definitely appreciate you guys coming, tuning in, rocking out with us. Sergent J, I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you've seen it. Boy, look at this daggone stormtrooper I got right here. I got the stormtrooper in the mix right here. I'm working on my old stormtrooper. It's coming along.
I see what you're saying about the handlebars.
Yeah, see these. They got a different set that's more MX style handlebars with the straight piece across. On the V2 version, dude got a lot of different parts. He even got a different cradle for the motor where you can put the motor in the middle of the chassis, but it's for the V2 version. That's the V1 3-wheeler version. They got a V2 and they got another version with the daggone Pro Moto forks, front fork. So you know I'm gonna do some modifications to that one and get it right.
See that I think that is so cool. And I'm glad you got a 3D printer because you mentioned that to me. And I'm like, I'd have done it if you sent me the files, but I was also like, man, my printer's busy, dude.
You got to get the files for a go-kart next.
Oh, I already found it. 1/28 go-kart. Don't worry. Check me out. Give me about 2 weeks. You'll see me. You'll be like, boy, this boy right here is steady printing them out. I'm telling you, I'm going to keep it hot, Louie. I did not buy that 3D printer.
When I saw something about a go-kart, I was like, yo, I got to find a go-kart body. I didn't find one yet, though, honestly.
I found a 1/28 go-kart. I found 2 of them. One of them got the full go-kart outer shell and everything, but of course, my little bed, I can't print it all out. They want me to print all of it at one time, and I'm going to have to take it in the studio, copy it, take it in the studio, and chop it up. And I believe if I separate it in the studio, I can print it out.
You can.
I said if I find a go-kart body, the go-kart body will probably go on the one of the 2-wheelers, the Vertex, the Vortex, or the Fury.
Oh, you talking about a 10 scale?
Yeah,
you talking about
I want something bigger.
And the only time, I just want to race them. I want to get them and come up with something. I wish we could get together and race them. They're like everybody had a 3-wheeler. Yeah. Everybody had. I love your quad with the driver.
That would be so cool,
Louie.
Yeah. you got to stay. I got something coming up with the quad. I got something coming up with that quad, baby. Definitely.
Yeah, I found a 3D printed 4-wheeler the other night. It looked cool from the front, but it looked kind of weird from the side. Like certain angles, it look a little weird, like it's super bulky, but it's a 1/5 scale though. That thing is humongous.
Wow, yeah. Wow. Oh my God. If I could get a 4-wheeler to go on a Vigilante, ooh, we talking money.
Here's the
deal. Yeah, that'll look crazy.
It's doable. We're doing it. These were
not. You see Pilot Ryan, he doing it.
Hey, figure out the wheelbase, and you're gonna have to slice it and make some cuts and be willing to glue it up.
I definitely would need a guy to go on it though. I don't think the 3-wheeler will look good. I mean, the 4-wheeler will look good with without my guy on it.
You need a Chucky doll.
Word. Yo, you ain't even lying. Word, you get not even a Chucky dog. You get the big
I ain't even know
the big army figure guy. Oh yeah, get the big army figure guys. and they got the helmet. I know they got the. I don't want a full helmet. I want just the what you call that? The hat that goes on the guy, the black hat that you put on the bikers. Oh man, yo.
And you can buy. Well, see, me personally, I'm probably gonna buy the files to print a rider and just scale him up so he can fit this right here. Like change him a little bit. Well, first I got to figure out how I can change it before I buy something that I don't want to use. You know what I mean? Make sure I can change it a little bit, and then we'll see. Yeah. I need to learn how to work the software a little more before I do anything else. Well, we'll see.
Now y'all got me thinking about actually downloading files and printing out stuff instead of creating my own. When I got the 3D printer, I said I gotta make some lights. I gotta make my money back off the 3D printer, man. I ain't gonna buy this joint for free. I gotta make some money back off that. I gotta make my money back off of it. But I never thought I was like, I don't really care about printing nothing out, downloading stuff. But the bodies, yeah, that definitely would be a good.
Go ahead.
I bought this thing strictly to have fun. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Strictly because I said it's either I can buy this 3D printer or I can buy that Notorious. And I said, man, I got plenty of bashers. If I buy this 3D printer, I better print out the 3-wheeler. I better start printing out cars. I literally can print out a different car every week.
Man. Yeah. I was just debating over the weekend. I was looking for a new car. I was like, I ain't get a car all year. I gotta get a new car. And I was debating between the Notorious and Linden.
Oh God.
I was debating between the Notorious or the Linden car to make that battle a little bit more interesting. I mean, honestly, I was pushing more to the what is the name? I forget the name now. Linden.
Mojave.
I was pushing more to the Mojave because it's bigger than the Notorious, and it was less. They got it on sale right now, and it was less. And I was like, So I was like, I don't know. I was debating on it. I ain't come to a conclusion yet.
Yep. Well, fellas, we about to get up out of here. We're about to get up out of here, fellas. I already feel the getting a little sleepy. Pilot Ryan, got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I'm stupid. Hey, thanks again. Thanks again for having me. It's always a good time. I'm so glad I found you guys. What a great group and community you're building over here. Hey, you can't beat real, and people know it, and they're going to keep coming, and you're going to have continued success. Keep bringing it, man. Great job. And yeah, you guys, if you like what we're talking about, me and Kelly, definitely check us out, our channels. Man, that video of his bug truck that I put out 10 days ago, it hit 4.1K during the show. I don't know what's going on, but that vid is doing really good for me. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Say something in the comments, whatever like that. I put a link to Kelly's channel in the description of that video too. Check out Kelly because he's doing his own thing too as well. So sometimes it's the same session. We're out in the woods, but everybody films and puts it together a little differently. And he's doing a really good job kind of breaking down and sharing how he's getting where he's getting with the software and some really cool breakaway shots in his content. So check that out. And, my links to my short form are in my descriptions as well. Even if there's not a whole lot of Instagram reels coming out lately, I am doing it. And there's some fire reels from back in the day. So check me out on short form and see you in the next one. See me tomorrow night. Me and Kelly are on Pilot Ryan Media, 9:30 Eastern time for, we don't know what we're calling it yet, but it's, planes and trucks and everything we do tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Definitely go hang out tomorrow night, fellas. We will be there. Linden, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, just want to shout out Pilot Ryan, Kelly Klein, and the whole panel for this 3D printing part 2 tonight, man. Awesome. Sorry I didn't show my face. I was kind of like tired, beat up today. But I
we know
appreciate
that broom came around that corner. He picked up that red cat, but I ain't want to say nothing, so you ain't heard it from me.
Yeah. Hey. We didn't see his face. We didn't see his face because you can't stream from the doghouse. You know what I mean? There's no light.
Louie, fix it.
You know it's true. Look,
he can't even stop laughing.
That was wrong right there.
I had to get him.
How you gonna come straight to me after that? Oh man. Thank everybody for coming out tonight, showing love. Pilot Ryan. Oh man, it's the whole 3D printing thing, man. It's another level learning from you guys. Wow, that was a good one tonight, learning from you guys about the 3D printing, how to scale up your body, and Ty over there doing something crazy with his 3D printing. He way past me. I thought I was on my highest level. He done passed me with that 3D printing.
No, I have not. No, I have not.
You passed me with printing. You know, listen, you doing your thing over there with that thing, man. But everybody out there in the chat, thanks for coming out, chilling with us for 3 hours. You know, that 3 hours with us, we definitely appreciate y'all coming out, chilling with us for 3 hours, 2 hours, over 15 minutes, so that we can get the love from YouTube. But come back again, come back Thursdays, Sundays, Tuesdays, 9:20. We here, trying to make you guys laugh, entertain you guys, and showing y'all RC love. That's what we do here, showing RC love, showing teaching y'all, if y'all gonna learn from us, learn from us. If y'all could give some input, and we learn from you guys, we definitely take that input and spread the love and spread the knowledge of what we learned, what we getting here from, everybody meeting here doing this RC thing. This the love. This is what we do. We love it. We do it. We ride it. We drive it. We out there. So keep it up. Come back again. We here.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up.
Definitely come hang out Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely go hang out at JustBashinit Wednesday night. I think it's 8:30 p.m. I think it's his is 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Pilot Ryan is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday night. Jeff from Lower Alabama is Friday night. I think around 9:30. Wild Bill Real Flight is Monday night around 9:30, somewhere in there. Guys, definitely go hang out. Great place to hang out with great people. Definitely do that. You know what it is. Like I always say, man, until next time, get out there and drive your RC. Fly your drones. If you got a boat, put it in the water. And we will see you on the next one. And don't forget, we will be doing more of these 3D printing shows. And we will get Pilot Ryan over for more, for some pilot shows. You know what I mean? Get some flyboys to join. So we'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace.
Cool.
Chastity.
Giveaways.
Here we go.